Morning team. Sorry, running slightly late there, but I hope you're all good. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Had a good afternoon session. Wasn't much going on, and I doubt there'll be too much going on today, but let's get into it in case. All right, as always, starting off in the daily chart, you can see we're opening up currently inside previous day. All right, there's your previous day, inside previous week. And so we're expecting rotation and chop. If we think about where we're opening up, right at this 20-day, 50-day, 5-day, overhead, we have a little bit of supply up here, and we have this low volume node down here. All right, so that's what we're aware of. We are very aware that we can just continue, especially in low volume, to build liquidity between these. All right, if we get back above this, then we've got a shot of coming up here. If we get back below this, then we've got a shot of filling some of this in this big imbalance candle here, until we see a break of one of those sides, and we can't really think about much else. Right, the only other option would be a fail break, all right, and just dance back into range. This is your liquidity building stage of this market, so we're just going to be patient. It is possible that the market wants to complete rotation higher, but you know, this time of year, the only way I see us doing something like that is if they start. They would need to go risk on, which means it will all be about tax, to be quite honest with you. If they feel like they can put some tax risk back on into end of year, maybe we get that. But at the moment, I'm not seeing it, so I'm prepared for rotation. I'm prepared for a very small inside day, and that's what I'm thinking about. And beyond that, we can think about what next. Let's have a look at the hourlies. You can see right here, these key levels. All right, this is previous week. We're well inside previous week's value. If we look at previous day's value, all right, previous day's value was set inside. Oh, sorry, that's too big. Was set inside previous week's value. All right, that was yesterday's value. This is previous week's value. All right, we're not finding acceptance outside of anything right now. You can see this is getting very, very tight. So the options really are look above or look below and fails, or continuation trades. All right, I'm not really interested in doing anything in here. All right, if this is your jam, all right, if you like trading over these 30, 40 point rotations, by all means go for it. All right, if that's your jam, if you love playing the rotations, that's what you should look at. Am I disconnected here? Can you guys hear me? Hang on, is there an issue here? Yeah, you can hear. Okay, good. It's just OBS playing up. Okay, so that's what I'd be looking at. I'd be expecting rotation. Outside of rotation, you can, if we base and hold, you can look for this push up to previous week value area high. Below rotation, all right, you have to be careful with previous day and previous week. But if we get underneath these and we base and hold, then you're looking for a drive into this little gap here, into this week, and maybe all the way down to here. These are the options, all right? So we're building out liquidity. It's either going to be this or this. It doesn't have to be today. It does not have to be today. I want to make that clear. If you just look above here, you can see overnight we've done absolutely nothing, right? Low of day yesterday, high of day yesterday. There's Asia, there's London. Here's where we're opening up, right? We're boxed in, right? So you're either playing an edge, or waiting for the break, or looking for a fail break, or looking for a fail break. That's it. That is it. These are my least favorite markets right now. Okay, let's go up. We're going to look at some of the divergences at play here. Let's just clean this up. Okay, into ES. All right, what you need to be aware of with ES is the relative strength it has right now. All right, it's forming a bigger, if we just zoom out of this, a bigger divergence. All right, here's old all-time highs on the futures market. Here's your higher low. There's your pivot low in November. There's your higher low. Maybe it has the ability to do that. That's what ES is looking to do. If we look at the spiders, all right, you'll see it's already done it. All right, so the ETFs have already put new highs in. All right, ETFs have already done it. Futures market haven't. All right, so that, for me at the moment, is a look above and fail on the spiders. All right, where are they trying to go? Probably the 700s. There's been a lot of action up here for a long time. It hasn't been able to do it yet. So there is clearly an issue up there on the spiders. We have gap fill potential down here. I'd be slightly concerned if we come down here and start doing this. This looks pretty drastic. It's a not very nice move. But again, because we're in light volume, I want to be careful. So we are starting to see divergence. If you go back historically and look, especially when the sales have happened across the markets, you've seen stuff like this where the spiders have done a false break, where you've had things like QQQ, right, having divergence, lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, so you want to be careful there. I don't want to be too uber bullish. We can just let this play out, especially in the low volume. I want to have a quick look at the VIX so you guys understand where we're at. Right, we're drifting lower. We can stay down here for a while. If you look historically, we're more than happy to be down underneath these 20s and 18s 50 plus days. All right, so it's not like I'm expecting a huge volatility spike this side of the year unless something drastically changes. I just don't see it happening. All right, I see us doing sort of stuff like this, which is that low vol kind of grind move. If we go and we can have a quick look at silver. Some of you talking about silver, and I said yesterday, you know, we expect to bounce back. There's a big flush out based on the CME stuff. You know, we have to see how we act when we start coming into there. Is this the first time where we see failed follow through? All right, or was this just a big flush out based on that margin requirement and we're going to go again? All right, I would imagine we just get some form of inside bar and then make a decision in a day or two. All right, let's have a look at the mag quickly. How are we doing for time? We've got to get a move on here. All right, Apple gapping down inside yesterday's action, so no real edge here. Inside all of this, nothing to do. Amazon, you're going to see the same story across the board. Slight gap down inside previous day. All right, 2 inside day bars here. Google, slight gap down, inside bar. Meta, slight gap down, but it is trying. Sorry, slight gap up, but it is trying to get going. So Meta had some positive news this morning. I think it bought an AI company or did some chip making deal. I can't remember. I read it very early this morning, but there has been a catalyst there for Meta. Microsoft gapping down inside yesterday. There's your gap. All right, so a little weak there. Nvidia, that's a gap up. It's trying to break out outside of yesterday. All right, if we get above there, it looks like there's a bit of a gap to fill up into 190. So we can set price alert each side. Let's just set it above pre-market high. So ready for that. There we go. Tesla, that's a gap up there. So it's trying to claw its way back. Remember, we talked about this level here on Tesla. All right, that was the box. All right, that's the drive, just missing 500. There's the failure. Does it come back and retest that? Big question mark. Does it retest that? If it does, do they leave all these buyers trapped and resell it? Or is this a look below and a fail and a reclaim back to 500? So we can set a price alert up here. 5 minutes left here, folks. Overall, as an equally weighted mag, let's have a look at what we're doing. Slight gap down inside of yesterday's junk. All right, so this should be warning you right now. Right, most stocks are trading inside right now. Can have a look at some of the other names. Oracle, gap up inside of yesterday. Let's have a look at AMD. A chip starting to catch a bid. It looks like they're trying to catch a bid. AMD trying to get back going. So that looks like a fairly strong look below and fail. Right, and can it get going? Question mark. Got a long way to go to get back up to where it was. AVGO, same kind of story. All right, leaving this range, big squeeze out. Right, does it fail and come back down, or is that a look below and fail and a reclaim? Time will tell. We don't know on some of these. Some of the beta names started to catch a bit of a bid this morning. So let's have a quick look at those. IONQ, sorry, IBIT, don't want to look at that. IREN, all right, not got much going on there inside yesterday. That's a big opening drive yesterday, which sold into. Lots of people caught in that. There we go. IONQ, that's a decent move. Starting to try and get going. I did see some news on that somewhere this morning. MVTS, no follow through there. RGTI trying to do the same thing. So these big gamma exposure names, these move pretty wild. Lots of people stuck in some of these at the moment. So I want to see if they can get going upside and if they're faded into or not. That's pretty much it. Let's have a look at this 30-year. Looking dangerous. 4-2 is the dangerous bit we've been talking about for a while. Looking dangerous here, folks. This is not good for the market. This is looking very dangerous in my mind. If this gets going, we should be risk off on the market if there's good correlation. Sometimes it takes a moment or two for it to come through and start to happen. Let's have a quick look at move. And the bonds are still dripping lower. Starting to round off there. Okay, well, we will see. We will see. Probably nothing happening this side of the year, I would imagine, but let's see. There we go, make that nice and big. All right, so not in a rush to do anything this morning. You can see here's your edges. Previous day value area high, previous day value area low, and guess what? We're probably opening up bang in the middle of these two right now. Yes, absolutely terrible. All right, no edge to be played from there. Okay, no edge. So nice and chill this morning, guys. We're not expecting lots to happen. Smash that like button nice and early for me. I'd love to do some giveaways again today. You guys can help me by driving these numbers up. The more likes we do, the better. How long we got here? 2 minutes until the open. All right, there are still some sales on, folks, for those of you that are interested. Apex still 90% sale for 1 day pass. And cheap activation, code FCT there. I think that ends Jan 6th. I think you still have a 35% sale on Lucid. Same code there, FCT. 40% sale on TPT. Code Flow Zone there. All the links are underneath if you're interested. Funding Next as well, still got a sale on. You sent an email. Let me have a look. I've not seen any email. Let me check the spam. Can you send it for... Oh, there you go. You're in my spam. Is it Ian? Is that you? That's weird. Why does it keep putting people in spam? I see you, my friend. I'm sorry about that. That's very frustrating for you. There you go, Ian. I just replied to you now. Sorry about that, my friend. Okay, here comes the open, folks. Nice and slow here. All right, nice and slow here. Just give it a chance, see how we go at this value area high. There's a big drive up to value area high, and ES trying to close its gap above that VWAP. Let's see if this market has any follow through today, or it just gets its door slammed in its face. What are we seeing here? Tesla, most things pretty much flat or slightly red. Tesla 0.07% up, Nvidia 0.07% up, Microsoft 0.14% down, Meta 0.15% up. What's that crossing there? Something's crossing. Is that Nvidia trying to cross to get back above? Google 0.08% down. Amazon, the big loser this morning, 0.70% down. Apple flat. So not a lot going on, folks. Not a lot going on. This is what we expected today. We expected not much to happen, all right? So don't be forcing your way into anything. That morning drive. Sold back into, not seeing much action on the tape yet. And I'm really not expecting much today, but we'll see. We will see. Does anyone want to turn up? How are we going to act if we get above this gap? And you know, the question really is, if they have any intention on going more than a rotation, do we do something like this and this, or is that sold back into and we just stay inside here? We will find out soon enough. We will find out. I'm certainly not in a hurry to do anything right now. Quite happy to sit here, do some giveaways, have some jokes with you, and if a trade sets up, fantastic. But I'm really not expecting it today, folks. Okay. 95380 you're waiting for? Yeah, I mean, that would be nice. I'm not sure we're going to get it today. But yeah, I mean, anywhere down there, 340 is an old POC down there. Naked POC on a weekly would be nice. But, you know, I can't imagine we're going to get much today. I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't see that happening. Unless something changes. We do have PMI coming 9:45, so maybe we get a bit of movement after that. All right, it's this market trying to get back up to previous day value area high right now. It's what it's trying to do. Bought for the gap fill? I mean, maybe, yeah. I mean, ES hasn't made it yet, but we will see. We will see. Just looks like a whole lot of rotation to me. And the question is, can the market get going one way or another out of the rotation? So they're trying to force this squeeze. 32s, 37.45 is liquidity on the book. Can they get going up there? Every shove up so far into these levels is being sold. It's not even into gap fill territory. Right, yellow line is gap fill. Previous day value area high is the edge of yesterday. And through that, well, we can look higher if it can get going. At the moment, every little shove, we're seeing some passive selling into. Some buyers definitely just got caught on that last move into 32s. What's the dotted blue line on my screen? This one here, this is previous day value area high, previous day value area low. Bookmap is, there's no such thing as 1 minute on Bookmap. It's inside the candles, right? It's not minute by minute. It's buyer and seller, each buyer and seller showing up. So it's seconds if you like, or ticks if you like, but it's not really, I guess it's closer to a tick chart, but it's just based on how the market is moving. It's not done over time. They separate, you can see time on that they separate. All right, here's the drive up into these 30s again, where there are some passive sellers up here. I expect them to drive through 32s up to 42s at the moment. Lots of liquidity set up there looking to get filled. Can they get going though? And if they can they get into these 45s where there's previous day value area high somewhere around here at the moment? Every shove up into 30 has been sold by these passive sellers. Every single shove up. Weakness in ES. All right, ES at low of day right now. So divergence continuing to play out in this market. This market is doing absolutely nothing. Where's VIX? I'm just trying to catch a bit of a bid down here. Don't like what I'm seeing right now. Let's see if ES can get back above its New York open or not. So a bid here is 7.15. And they're going to fill and sell through this. Can ES get back through its New York open? Relative weakness in the ES. Complete split in the mag. Look, Tesla 0.5% down. Amazon just under 0.5% down. Apple over 1/3% down. Nvidia 0.25% down. And then you've got Microsoft flat. Meta 1.45% up. Google 0.5% up. Like, and big divergence like we've talked about. And you're going to continue to see that, right? You're going to continue to see that in low volume markets. There's like bugger all to do. You don't need to be here trying to click. Do I have a video on the Delta on TradingView? I do not. It's just showing you Delta. It's showing you the aggressive. All it's showing you is who is the main aggressive participant in that candle. That's all it's showing you if you want to follow that. Okay, guys, I'm not going to look at chat for a minute. Just let me, if the market's just opened, you're hammering in with questions right now. Just let the market calm down. It's only 6 minutes in and I'll get back to you. Let me just watch price action for a minute. Into old POCs down here. ES trying to catch a bid to get back up to its VWAP and New York Open. VIX down at low of day with ES not able to move higher at the moment. That's not a strong look. We're right down at our New York Open down here. Previous point of controls, previous week, previous date. Very slow. Very, very slow. So I'd say this morning buyers have been caught over 21s so far. That's definitely a thing. Over 20s. So we need to get back above the 20s and hold price if buyers are going to have control. If you're going to play the rotation, then you're watching these point of controls underneath you. Do those hold? If not, you're watching the previous day value area low. But definitely this morning, every buying participant at 20 and above has got stuck. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts to get through there and failed every go at it. And we've got divergence between the ES and the NQ, and you've got divergence between the ES and the VIX for the second day in a row. And you're right in the middle of this value at the moment from previous day. All right, let's catch up. Do I look at the advance or decline now? No, not really. Bro, show me your I hate even the way you've worded that. I'm going to be honest. Bro, show me your profile settings. I am using volume profile, but unlike you, where it stay extreme, right? It is covering candles. I mean, hi, Alex. Would you mind showing me some of your profile settings? I'm going to speak to you like an adult. Bro, show me your profile settings. All right, there you go. Bro. There are my bro settings. All right. Ticks per row, 2, anchored VWAP, placement right. Bro. Jesus. Fucking what chance does humanity have of surviving if this is how we now interact with each other? There you go, bro. Good morning. Okay. Still, we have divergence. Sellers coming in very aggressive at these lows right now. Some big sellers at these lows getting a little bit caught here. I still think we're in a bit of no man's land right now. I want to see us get to one side of value and see what happens. Sellers have come in more aggressive sub 700. All right, sub 700 all the way down to low of day. Buyers are caught above 20s. The reason I'm not interested is really like, what is there to do? We're talking about 20-point rotation here. Like, ugh. Let's just see. ES very, very weak though by comparison. Keeps drifting. It's drifting down with the VIX drifting down. I mean, it's a big warning sign if you ask me. I don't want to see stuff like that. It gives me zero confidence to place a trade, seeing stuff like that. VIX at low of day, ES at low of day. No, thank you very much. I'm okay. I'll wait to Jan if it's going to continue to be like this. Have a look at the Qs, what we're doing. Still inside of everything. All right, some shorts have just been caught here for sure. Sub 700 down to low day. That's where they keep getting aggressive. You are seeing some buying activity trying to step in at 705s. They're not getting their way. So We've just got no real range to play with right now. Every pop's being sold, every dip's being soaked on passive. There's no follow through either way right now. We have to wait until we get each side of value. Otherwise, there's really nothing we can do with this. No edge here. Yes, that's exactly what I would say, Troy. Good morning, everyone. No edge here. Like possibly they want to rotate back down to value area low. And if we get through that, you know, the question is like, can they get beyond this? Or can they get beyond this? All right. Or is this soaked? Or do they soak off here? Or is this soaked? Or do they soak off here? This is the problem. These are like the more extremes. This is the bullshit you want to try and avoid if possible. In my mind anyway. These are the areas where I don't really want to participate in. And you can see here, look, we've had some big selling at the lows and some buying at the highs getting caught, and some buyers keep trying to step up here and push the market higher. They're not getting their way, and the big seller at the low tried to force the market down, not getting their way. And you're talking about 10, 20 points here. I mean, it's just, I'm not interested by it. Not in the slightest. Exactly. Very low volume as expected. Very, very low volume. Okay, maybe now into previous day value area lows. Have a look at the mag. Tesla struggling. It's interesting. Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, all red. Meta, the only one looking vaguely okay. I'm unconvinced right now. Getting close to previous day's value area low. Getting close. VIX finding a bid in no man's land at the low of day. Yeah, this is very slow. This is even slower than yesterday. Made some money on gold? Oh, well done. Well, that's what, % up right now? Rhythmic. Paul saying he's having issues with Rhythmic. Sorry to hear that. Waiting is a skill. It absolutely is a skill. Yeah, it's probably the most important skill you're going to need in trading. Okay, we've seen a decent amount of selling come in down here at the lows under 90s, and they're not breaking lower yet. So just being aware of that, but the volume is non-existent really. They're going to have another attempt to get into that value area low by the looks of it. What they're attempting to do, and they've been soaked off value area low or in front of it again. So every attempt to get down into here, they are failing to do right now. We're failing to expand value at the moment. Doesn't mean they can't do it, but it's what we're seeing at the moment. ES new low of day. Fix at low of day. Oh, geez. Geez, Louise. I have a question for you, Alex. I have 100K Apex funding and 250K accounts. Can I copy them? Yep, you can. Yeah, no, you can copy any account together. All right, here comes previous day value area low. See if they defend it or not. If they don't, then it's possible we go down to previous day low into sort of 47s and previous week value into 40s and previous week open into 35. So it all depends how we act once we get to this edge. Are we going to bid off this edge, or are we going to see some follow through? The follow through won't be huge, might be 30 plus points, but we will see. Moment they can't even get through it. Here come the sellers. They're trying to step on the tape. There's been a passive buyer here at 80 all day. So what I say all day this morning. Once he moves, might see a bit more of a flush down into value. And there we go. So he's starting to move, and value is 73s. If we get through 73s, you've got to be careful for fail breakout versus breakout, and 50s or 48s will be the next spot. All right, so here comes the move into value. Previous day value area low is right here. See, there's a slight bid off it, that blue line. Unsurprisingly, you know bulls will want to defend that. If they are unsuccessful in defending that, you will see a wash through. There you go. They defended it very well. Well, someone just stepped on the tape, didn't they? They said, fuck off, we're covering here. And this is what happens when you get low volume. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So we said we will wait to see what happens. Well, I can't do anything with that. I'll tell you that much. So let's see. Someone doesn't want it below that, that's for sure. Still watching ES, not through New York Open yet. There's divergence everywhere here, folks. It is messy out here. Very, very messy. So maybe down into this imbalance, which starts at 90 and goes all the way down to 82s if they are actually willing to hold. But there's no one on the tape right now. I'm not trusting anything. And value area high on the session currently at these 10s. All right, so you're really looking at 30 points at the moment in this session, unless we can start getting through this and accelerating up here, which would be nice. Which they are now trying to do. There's VWAP. Can we find a bid now? This is the question. Remember, the buyers this morning have been stuck at 20 and above. Yeah, definitely 20 and above is where the buyers have been stuck so far this morning. Again, I mean, I don't see it. You're going to have to be big bollocks to just bid there with nothing. And if you did have the big bollocks or you rebid this, you're trimming some here and then you're looking for this now. All right. Someone's in a fucking hurry all of a sudden. ES has got going. All right. ES just filled the gap, so just be careful of that. And we've had gap fill on ES now. Your next target, if you are long, is into the value above. All right. So gap fill for us would be 40s, gap fill above. And if you're really lucky, you get going into 20s and maybe even all the way up there if they're going to turn the booster jets on today. We will see. We'll just have to see exactly what we thought about here. We're going to have to see how we act up here, right into the other edge. So see how we act into previous day's value area high here. So just a rotation, right? One side of the previous day's value to the other side. D shape yesterday. We're trading an inside bar. It's a rotation until it proves otherwise. Okay, it's all we're looking at. Gap filled on the ES. Next stop. Get your words out, mate. Will be 57s. Break through 57s. Maybe then we can look for the 5-day on the ES. So here goes the Qs. Can they get up? They've just closed the gap. So once they got back above the 20s, remember buyers were stuck at 20s we talked about this morning. Those buyers are now let out. So buyers were stuck at 20s. All right. Oh my gosh, right here, they're getting let out. Let me see if I can get you on to see. All right, buyers were stuck in here, in this big node here, 20s. All right, and can we move back above that now is the question. The answer right now is yes. There's previous day's value area high. Are we going to look to auction above this, or are they going to sell this at this point now? That's all we're thinking about now. Can we hold a bid above this, come and clean out Globex, higher time from algo, get into 23s, right? And if we get acceptance, can we get up into here? So the plays right now are very simple. Can we build some structure here to come here and here? Or is this going to be look above and we're going to come straight back down and keep rotating in yesterday's profile? That's the option. Those two things are the option right now. Watching this guy for days, all I see is him talking. Never saw a trader yet live, lol. I'm not even going to respond to that. You can fuck off and watch whoever you want, mate. I'm not even going to respond to that. Good luck. Good luck on your trading career. I can tell you now, it's not going anywhere with that attitude because you're not willing to learn. You've got zero shots if you're going to jump around looking for someone to babysit you and hold your hand without the ability to listen and learn. What I'm giving you here is more than you're going to get anywhere else, trust me. But you do what you want. Okay, let's see then. No acceptance above value. Are they going to offer rotation or do we see continuation up into here? Waiting to see some volume steps on the tape here. If not, then we're going to drift back down into those 20s. Remember, 20s is where the buyers got stuck this morning. It's where they came back in for the acceleration. You'd want to see them hold above 20s if you're going to look for a continuation. So if, big if, you would want to see a build out into here, if we're going to look for acceptance above for these TPs. Failing to hold 20s would mean more buyers just get trapped above 20s, and we are going to continue to do a small rotation. So we're bullish if we can look for this. If we fail to hold 20s, I'd expect this to be priced back in again. All right, and we haven't got much room or much ATR to play with, so just be aware of that. Are we looking more bullish? Yes, potentially, but we've got to get acceptance above value, right? So we're currently, the longer we're up here, we will move current day's value up. But just remember, all that matters is where those buyers came in, right? Can they stay aggressive? Can they get something like this? All right, if they can't, then this is a look above value again. If they can't hold this, then guess what? We're going to go right back down because this is what we've already done today, and this is what we did yesterday, all right? So we're condensing inside of yesterday at the moment. Here's the 20 check that we just talked about. This is what's going to be key now, is do some passive buyers start to absorb here into these 20s? If the answer is yes, and they can get back above value, it's got a rebid possibility higher. If the answer is no, then we're going to go right back inside current day's value because we're already in previous day's value. So the question is, can they hold 20s here? The answer at the moment is they are trying to offer a bid here at 25. So the volume is so small, folks. It's very, very small, but they are trying to hold above the 20s like we just talked about. But again, for that absolute twat in chat, you know, if you can't decipher what I've just given you, you've got no chance. A twat in chat. I quite like the rhyme of that. There's another twat in chat. All right, let's see then if they can absorb around here and get acceptance back above previous day's value or not. Okay, here they go. They are trying. Guess what we are looking at the moment? We're looking to see if we can drive through and find acceptance above PDC, above previous day value area high. Is there a move here? Big sellers came in, well, not big, but big in this session, came in at 30s and below and didn't find acceptance lower. So at the moment, we're looking bullish if we can find a squeeze out here. Looking good. And I want to see them clear up to 55s because we've got lots on the book here to 55s. Here we go. Here we go. Really nice hold, a reclaim. Can we get through this? All right, so I'd be TPing out on any drive into this now. If you took any of this soak in here, all right, you want to be very careful because we're so light on volume. But if we hold this, TP1, TP2, TP3, and the full rotation will be up into 830s. Here we go. And it doesn't give me anything. Shut the fuck up, you moron. All right, there's TP1 into the orange bars. Oh, it's always nice to end the year with a complete knob end. Right, let's see if we can keep going here. It'd be nice if we could. So this is Globex and a higher time frame algo that I use. This is based on higher time frames, EMA, fib EMA of higher time frames. If we can get squeezed into grey, it'd be great. Here we go, locking some in here through this. And really now it's just, can we get all the way up into sort of 830s? That would be fantastic. All right, so we have liquidity in this grey box. All right, this is a big pivot. So you want to peel some off. Oh, this is going to be trade of the day. I'm telling you, it's not going to be anything better than this coming today. All right, let's see if we can get going then. If we get lucky, we get up into here now, folks. I've been here 2 days. I want him to hold my dick while I go to the toilet. Get the fuck out of here. Beautiful move, guys. Make sure you're trimming some into this. Runners only now. If we get lucky, we will get up into here, right? But remember, we're in light volume day. We don't know if we're going to get that. So we're going to protect ourselves. We're going to assume we're not. Finally, we're getting some confluence here. VIX moving down with the ES moving up. So finally, those things are aligned. They haven't been aligned yesterday. They weren't aligned this morning, but we're seeing a small amount of alignment. They're still offering here at 75s and 80s, which is good. So they are providing some liquidity here. Let's have a look. 800, 817 is on there, 840, 850. So it's good. They are providing some liquidity. We just want to see if buyers are going to be aggressive here. But we had the best buy of the day there. All right. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not going to bid down here and just wait. I would have loved to have been a buyer down there if it just done something like this. But this was the move here where we backchecked 20 and we're getting going now. And we called it out ahead of time, told you what I was looking at and why. And this is the next stop. So let's just see. Really nice here. We have some old imbalances here, just so you're aware, from yesterday. So I'd say sort of 77 to 80s, and then through that 800s. So make sure you paint yourself. I know, guys. It's trust me, it drives me more insane than you when I sit here, literally calling level 2 and tape out and order flow as it moves, which is, I'm telling you now, it's a skill. You don't get that skill overnight. It takes time. And I do it for free and still I get questions. It's incredible. There we go. It's okay. It's okay. Right. Positive attitude. All right. So all we're seeing now, you just want to be careful. You want to see rebids come in at these same levels, right? So structurally, we have a low volume node here now. You want to see buyers protect this, right? So we'd like it, if we're going to go higher, we want a bear trap. But remember, this is a liquidity level. We talked about this. This is from yesterday and from last week, right? So if we're going to go higher, you definitely don't want it beneath this. And you'd want sort of a little bear trap like that if you're going to hold on. What you don't want to see is a volume shelf built out. If you remember the play yesterday that I took short, what you do not want to see is a big volume shelf being built out here. All right, and then a failure underneath and a rotation. So make sure you're locking in. That's why that grey box is here. We know it's a big liquidity level. We've just traded into it. Buyers must step up now in front of previous day's value area high. Ideally, a bear trap in low volume, and that for your continuation. Do not let it build out a big fat shelf and then reject and come lower and be holding onto your buys. All right, you do not want to see that. If we get back underneath value, all right, if we're going to do this move, that is a fade. Then, all right, bulls must hold previous day's value area high in my mind if they're going to rotate to previous week value, which is up here. Right, they must hold this. If they don't hold that, not interested. I'm not going to play in this. This is death zone, right? We don't play in there. Well, Alex doesn't play in there. You guys can do whatever you want, but I'm not playing in there. Nice, Grey Kitty saying thanks, Alex, done for the day. What about full rotation down? I mean, yeah, I mean, technically, if this is, you could argue, if this is a look above and fail, especially if they build out enough liquidity, right, and then they fail the back test of this, then you could argue for this and this and this. Absolutely, you could argue that move. I'm not going to deny you that. I'm not going to deny you that. So buyers have a shot now. And if they don't hold this, that'll be the end of it, and I'll be out on the runner. Do I do this every day? Yes, my friend. 9:15 Eastern Time, Monday to Friday. Okay, about to cut the runner here. Unfortunately, I wanted to give it a chance in case it wanted to keep going to those, what was it, 8:30s? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, 8:30s. Now, you still got a chance to hold it here, but I'm not going to rebid this, not yet. VIX also, by the way, closed its gap and is finding a bid here, so I want to be careful. All right, out list now. Can always rebid if I want. Where am I seeing buyers or sellers further out based on level 2? Yes, level 2, mate. using Bookmap. There's the bid. Oh my God, stop me out by a fucking point or two. All right, I'm happy to rebid if it firms up, not before that. Yeah, W's in chat if any of you got that with me from 20, what did we get? 20s to almost 80s. It's not bad. 50, 60 points you probably locked in. I mean, in this market, we'll take it. We will take it. Alex, did I see a big buyer at, what did you say? 76. I mean, we can have a look on here together. Yeah, there's a big seller coming in now. Let's see. 76. That's probably the end of the auction you're talking about. I mean, I wouldn't say big. A 61 lot and a 39 lot. Yeah. And then you saw the rotation. So if you just think about this, this came in here, right? And buyers got stuck at the highs. Sellers took over. They had one more retest of this level, failed. Sellers took over. We're going back down to value, and we're seeing the same thing at these lows now, the other way around. So the new box, think about this, starting to be boxed in, right? Sellers at the low, buyers at the highs. We're waiting to see if we get a acceptance and a break back out above this or a break below. If we go below, we're going to go back inside value, and that can be a rotation down. So you can see these passive buyers sitting on the book right now, trying to absorb from 30 to 25, right? That's where the passive buyers are sat right now. Everything in here is choppy while they make their mind up. Remember, this is value area high, previous day value area high in here. So the question is, do these buyers do a little look below, fail, absorb, and then send it back up? Or are sellers going to come with strength here for a break? All right, so that's what we're looking at when we're looking at the level 2 at the moment. So into this passive buyer at 35, if they snap him, there's a 10-point shove down very, very quickly. So he's starting to be filled, but we're talking about small size here, folks. When we look at the book at the moment, we're talking about a 45 lot on the book. We're not talking about hundreds of lots absorbing the tape. Lots of you getting the win there. Nice work, folks. Nice, nice work. Still absorbing around here for now, but you can see you got to be careful here because we're building out volume. All right, you can see this. All right, buyers will be looking for this. Sellers will be looking for this break below. We're thin down here. All right, so if sellers win this, they complete rotation. If buyers win this, then they will try and get through the grey box and get up into there. Those are the moves, right? Those are the moves currently available. Oh. Who does not want to learn? Please leave the chat. We want to take care of our families and become best version of ourselves in 2026. So please either sit and learn with us or get out. Yeah, I'm quite right. Happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, J Sauce. I think I asked the question, but the DOM level 2, is that Bookmap? Yeah, it is Bookmap, my friend. Well, that's how I'm choosing to read it. But it's up to you, right? So I'm looking at Bookmap. Look, this is my Bookmap, right? So on the left is my heat map. On the right is my level 2 or DOM. All right, so I use both. This is the main thing I'm looking at is delta. All right, when I'm looking for outlying delta, like big participants who are stuck. That's where my edge comes from, I'll be honest with you. You don't have to use Bookmap. It's just what I choose to use. What would I need to get back long? I'd need a strong reclaim of levels. I'm not bidding in here. Oh, don't move that. Jeez, need that one. All right, I don't want to bid in here because we're not finding acceptance above value. So I'd need to see something like this to get back long. All right, maybe a trigger here, and maybe I'd consider an add up there, although it'd be very risky. All right, right now, we cannot get above previous day's value. So it is possible that they rotate all the way down to here. All right, and if they get acceptance under this, then we've got previous day's value and previous week's value. All right, this would be exactly the same as what we've done up here if they do this move here. All right, so this move here is this move here. So it's a mirror, right? If you think about this as 50%, previous day value area high, previous day value area low. At the moment, no acceptance above here. If they reclaim, maybe they go for acceptance, but if they can't reclaim, then the rotation is possible, because we're in a rotational market, which is why I said you must take profit into here and here. We're not in a trending market, all right? We're not in a guaranteed trending market. So we position for the trend, we take profit at key levels, and we wait to see if it wants to trend. We don't know if it's going to offer that. It didn't offer it. Now what are we doing? Yesterday was what? A rotation here. Today currently is a rotation here. We are what? We are inside bar on the daily. So let's think about that. Daily bar. Volume and value yesterday. Volume and value today so far. Condensed, right? We're condensed. So we have to play edge to edge, take profit, wait to see if we find acceptance. Edge to edge, take profit, wait to see if we find acceptance lower. That's all we're doing. We are creating liquidity for the bigger move. No, this the indicator you're looking at is my Frozone Pro. It's not free, all right? But it's not just a ribbon, all right? So you get what comes in that: opening range, Globex, initial balance, multi-time frame algos. This box up here to tell you what type of condition we're in. Right now we're in liquidity building condition, like I keep talking about. So a version of it comes free with the course if you do the 20-hour course, beginner to advanced. Otherwise, you can upgrade to the pro version there as well. Yeah, well, that's it. Stock Genius USA, I think that is starting to look exactly the same pattern from the last 2 days. It's just a rotation, right? So it's a rotation. Yes, quite right. A lot of you saying it's very similar to yesterday. That's it, because we're back inside value. We're not on. Remember, if you joined from the beginning of the day, right? Just remember the beginning of the day. The first thing I always look at: what are we? We're inside previous week. We're inside previous day. We expect rotation. We're at the mean. We're not above this. We're not below that as well, right? We're not underneath this for continuation. We're not above this node for continuation. So everything's saying build liquidity. Absolutely everything in this market, from a weekly, from a daily, from the EMAs, from volume, even on this higher time frame daily chart, is saying build liquidity. From there, we went to an hourly chart. The hourly chart is quite clearly showing you that we are currently inside of previous days, previous week's value, and we're inside of previous day's value. So that's also telling you what? Build liquidity. Okay, so you have to wait. We talked about this earlier in Discord. Those looking for this move here, all right, you have to understand that this has to build it all out, and you have to be very aware of that move there. You do not want to get caught in that. So you want to see big break if you're going to look for that move, and a trade into an old weekly value and point of control. Fantastic. This is probably where higher time frame buyers show up if they do. Until that point, you've got to be careful, because this is what the market is going to do. All right, and once we use these players, we can get a break. All right, it's important that you start on the higher time frame and work your way down so you understand where you are at versus the big players. The rotation's starting to take place now. So those of you who like the rotation, right, we keep failing this. We talked about this. We will probably, if we fail this, we will probably come down into here. Watch this low volume node here. And then previous day point of control, previous day value area low, previous week value area low. All right, I'm going to avoid this like the plague, like I always say. Avoid it like the plague. But it's just for me, because I don't like playing in rotation. Curious around previous day value area high and previous day value area low. Is that an indicator or is it just manually set by me? Yeah, I just draw it on, mate. Yeah, so I measure it out the previous day, and then I just put my horizontal lines on. And really, you only ever need to do it once, right? So if you do your weekly and daily levels, you set your weekly levels on a Monday or a Sunday, and you do move your daily levels each day. So you just draw them once and then you move them. It's not too hard. But yeah, I don't have an indicator for it. Do I follow market cycles at all, or just price action? My cycle has us going down into Jan 5th or 8th. No, I don't really follow cycles. I might look at historical data and see where edge is historically, where the market is likely to go onto a fade, but I don't pay too much attention. Price and volume is king for me. Cycles might work better for swing positions if you're more focused. So anyone who took that look above and fail into my grey box and decided they were going to fade against value, all right, these are coming into your TP1s. This is your TP2. These are your TP3s. All right, so anyone who got short into, I don't know, guess 730s, you need to be starting to partial out now into these lows and see if you find acceptance underneath these now. But here's previous day and previous week point of control. So these are areas of value from the previous week. These were the most fair areas of value from the previous week. It is also our current value area low on the day. So you must be taking some profit here. I don't use Elliott wave, no. Don't use anything like that. I am aware of like 2 counts and 3 counts, and I don't really care about 9 counts or anything like that. But I understand them, but I don't use them. I'm done for the day. Got long after the open 20 point. No, not planning to play D profiles. I'm with you there, full forward. That's a man speaking my language. That's a man speaking my language. I'm with you there, my friend. Whatever way works for you, Stock Genius. It doesn't look, just because I don't do it. I talk about this all the time. Just because I don't do it doesn't mean it doesn't work. There's many ways to trade. Someone was asking me yesterday why I don't use VWAP bands. It's just because I don't. It's not because they don't work or anything like that. It's just because I don't use them. I have my own system. Here you go. Starting to see follow through here now, and back towards this previous day value area low. All right, so here's Globex. If you see follow through down into here, the next levels will be down into here. So anyone who took that short, it's actually looking pretty good for you. But I would be making sure you're covering some. Hello, Mr. Mouse. Here, here, and here. I use pain. Yeah, quite right. It's exactly what I use. Exactly what I use. What indicators can we use to mark previous day values? Right here. Fixed range volume profile, right? And you just draw it on. Just draw it on from 9:30 to 4 o'clock. That's all you need to do. So it's a tool rather than an indicator, right? It's a tool. No worries. There is a big seller here. First time I've seen a seller of size. 460 lot up at 710. Let's see if he's actually a player or not. Let's see if he's a player. That's some serious size compared to what we've seen on the tape this week. Let's see if this guy's legit. That is... well, market wants to go and see if he's legit. I'll tell you that much. There is an imbalance up there. There's an imbalance 707s. Is this guy real? ES relative weakness right now. VIX starting to get going upside. We are just trading around the old point of controls right here. I want to see if this player is real up here or if he lifts. Or is he pinning this market down? That last shove up, we've got buyers caught into sevens. Their pain point really is up around 704 to 707. And this player is just dangling up here at the moment. So I'm waiting to see if we shove up into him and if he's legit and if buyers get caught and if we continue to sell. Not that I want to take it. I'm just interested to see what he does. You can see this liquidity being built out here. It's a big shelf now being built out here. So buyers are trying to come in and get this move back into here. Let's see if this guy's legit. We're about to tap into him. You can see him on Bookmap. No, he's not. He's just pulled it. So he's an absolute fraud with massive size. And we're into this imbalance we just talked about. And D-shape continuing to play. So hopefully you've locked some in. No guarantee you see lower lows here. I'm not going to say you can't, but... it's a rotational market, right? There's the imbalance tap, and there's buyers caught in that imbalance. We just talked about it, 707s. There's the imbalance tap, and there is buyers caught in it. Now, can they come back down to 85s and come underneath what's this POC, where we are right now? Can they get acceptance lower now? They've got, I tell you what, sellers have got a chance here for the first time today. They've got to move underneath this volume. All right, if this is a look above and fail into the imbalance at 707, this is a look above and fail. If sellers can leave this, they've got a chance for this rotation here. They are trying. They are trying. Where did that buyer's pain come in? 98s up to 707s. Where are we trading at? 87s and the spiders. Where's 85s? A long way down. Bit of spoofing going on in this tape here by this seller. So he had big size in at 707s. He pulled his size. He came back on with smaller size at 707. He's now lifted to 22. So someone's playing silly buggers, just so you guys are aware. But sellers have got a chance here. If they can come in with size here and give a flush moment, because we've built out lots of volume. It's a big if. But they've got a chance, but they need to break away from this. They need to leave this guy trapped, and they need to do this to complete the rotation. They've got a chance. I'm not in anything. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. I'm not in any of this. I traded the long up here, and that's it. So there's point of control tap again here. Sellers being aggressive here, trying to move lower. So this is the chance that they have. We just talked about it. Can they move aggressively underneath this? We have an imbalance here from 9:47 this morning. So they've got to get under. Where are these last pain points? Right, the sellers from this morning are caught under 78. All right, the sellers from this morning are caught under 78. So if we can expand us under 78, sellers will really start accelerating. Big if button maybe, but that's what I'd be looking at. I can show you what I'm looking at. I'll give you an idea of it. All right, there is an imbalance down to this guy. You can see this was the end of the auction this morning. This is the sellers who are caught. All right, so these guys will be getting out right now. We had an imbalance up here into 707s from here. Okay, we pushed and trapped buyers into this. You're not seeing on a 5 minute on this, but I am seeing it on my other chart. There was a 26 lot delta lot who got caught here. You can see it right here, right on this spike. Sellers need to take control and resell this and get these guys out. Otherwise, this will continue to develop in here. I don't want to trade in this, but if sellers are going to take control, this is the chance that they've got to do it. Big if, but that's what I'm just seeing. Yeah, Joe, I mean, the only thing I've taken, Joe, was this here. I said this morning, 20s was the level. As long as we hold in front of 20s, there's possible for a drive up into here and here. All right, so I was bidding small size in here. I got more aggressive in here, and I was selling through this. And then I held, right, and stopped back out when we came back into it. I held in case we came up here. That's the only thing. If you're going to wait for me for when I buy and sell, you're going to miss lots of trades because I'm very, very fussy. So I even told you, like, if you want to fade this back down to here, you can. If you rewind the tape and do it, I didn't take this. So if you're waiting for me to tell you, hey, I'm selling here, well, you're going to be waiting a long time because I'm not taking it. So I don't know what to tell you. Big battle here. It's point of control on the day. Point of control from yesterday, point of control from previous week. Huge battle here taking place. Let's have a little look at the mag. Tesla 0.17% down. Nvidia 0.5% down. Microsoft 0.14% up. Meta, the big winner today. Off that news, it did have a catalyst. 1.29% up. Google 0.15% down. Amazon 0.33% of a % down. Apple 0.40% down. I'd just be careful here. And the shelf here continuing to develop. I'd just be careful here. This is the battle. All right, look above and look below. Nothing's played out yet. All right, if bulls win, you can imagine up here. Bears win, well, we'd probably come and take these out. Both things are possible right now, so that's why I'm saying both. Because we're at a key level from previous week, previous day, current day. What do I use to get footprint? I actually watch it on NinjaTrader. I use Cidi. But if you want it on TradingView, you can get it. If you're paying for the Pro, you need to come up to here where you have your types of candles and bring it down to volume footprint. Right, that's how you get it if you're having the Pro account. It is pretty good. I actually quite like it on TradingView. It's pretty decent. Okay, the chop continues. The chop continues. We've stalled out here, haven't we? We're in key area and stalling out. How do you confirm breakouts? Well, I rarely play breakouts. I play pullbacks. But if you were going to confirm breakouts, I'd probably be looking things like volume to show you that it's on side with you, CVD to show you the aggressives that are there on side with you. If I was going to play a breakout, but I'm not a breakout trader. And that's what I'd be looking for, and I'd be looking for it early in the rotation. So if you're looking for a breakout of a key level, if it was a horizontal level, you're looking for multiple taps into it over multiple sessions before you look for that breakout. If you're looking for something like, a flag break on a higher time frame, you want to be looking for leg 1 or 2, not leg 3 and above. All right, here's the rotation, back off the D shape, into the middle, into VWAP. And if they want to go right back up to the other side, they will now. Starting to break through now. So this rotation continuing. So Bears had the chance to take over there. They failed to do what they needed to do, which was get a strong close and let these guys out of pain that we talked about and that I showed you on footprint. These Bears down here from this morning are in pain, all right, and they got out break even or close to break even, causing this spike up. Here's the shelf. We talked about this. If they want to run it all the way back up to here, they absolutely can. There's your VWAP. That's midpoint. All right, this continues to be an option. This continues to be an option. Everything's possible because we're inside this. All right, everything's possible because we're inside this. No, I have a course on footprint. There's nothing on my YouTube. Mr. Big Player is back. 817 lots, 730. What is he doing? That's some serious size to be spoofing around with. Yeah, exactly. That is some serious size to be spoofing about with. All right, back to point of controls again. Everything condensed. Previous day, previous week, current session. This is fair value for the day where we are now. The same things are possible here, folks, that we've been over this morning. All right, exactly the same things. Yeah, Nacho is Miguel. Nacho is Miguel. I think Adam dared him to do it, so he did. We are indeed, yeah, we're inside previous week and we're inside previous day. We are, yeah, we're inside everything right now, my friend. Waiting to see if we have a breakaway here, either side. Me neither. Never heard of it. All right, guys, over 600 of you watching. Smash that like button for me. We will do some giveaways on stream. We do giveaways every day here. Streams have been a bit slower. They will start picking up when the volume picks up, and that will probably be next year, folks, but I'm here for it. Here we go. Here's previous week point control being tested. This is the question. Are bears going to take control and let those bears from early morning out? Are they going to let the bears from early morning out? If so, if they let them out, then I think this is possible down here. It's a big if. So we got guys caught in here. The question is, can they let them out and get some cover points down here? And if they get acceptance under previous day's value, then they come to here. If we don't, then this is a mirror image of this, right? You need to be aware of this play here. This would be a mirror image. So you can see at the moment, we built liquidity, we drove up, we failed to get acceptance. We came down, we built liquidity, we might well drive down, might well fail to have acceptance. So you could probably split this day or this session in half here, and they would look exactly the same, mirrored and reversed kind of thing for now. If we do this next leg, that is. What is this guy doing up at 7:15? It's very odd. On the book, off the book, on the book, off the book. Sloth. Everything for everything for the DOM, for rotation, for footprint, for Bookmap is in the new course, in the volume and order flow course. Everything's there. You get a discount because you're already a member, mate. So just check in Discord. There is you get a 50% discount because you're an OG member. Welcome, Anthony. Thanks for joining. Big buyer sitting at 660. Is there? Let me have a look. Can't see anyone. I must add, I lost $6,000 prior to joining Flowzone Community, but I've been making it back my drawdown. Hey, nice. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Hey, I just want to say thank you for doing this. Information you're providing for free is changing lives. Oh, thanks, man. Do I do personal coaching? I don't. We do like group sessions in Discord, but I don't do one-on-ones. I just don't have the time, guys. I don't have the time. It'd be nice if I did. I actually love teaching more than anything else. Find it very rewarding, but I just don't have the time for one-on-ones. But we do like hour or 2 hour sessions in Discord. I'm trying to do them more regularly for the members to join in. Inverse head and shoulders. I don't see an inverse head and shoulders here. I'm not sure where you see it. Where's your head? Where's your head? I see maybe a head and shoulders, you could argue. I can't see an inverse right now. All right, they're going to try and have another attempt here to leave volume. It just looks very messy in here. Just you do well to sort of leave this alone for now, I'd say. Initial balance now set as well, folks. So we're currently trading inside of value, inside of initial balance. Where's our opening drive this morning? Where's the first 15 minutes? Inside the opening range. We're inside of absolutely everything you can imagine. So if any of you did my free video from the weekend on checklists, well, here's your checklist for a rotation. So if you're a trend trader and you hate rotation, then today's checklist was it, right? Inside the day, inside previous value, inside your orb, inside your initial balance, inside current day's value. What's that screaming at you? No trend. if a spoofer shows they're spoofing, how come they keep getting away with it when it's obvious? Well, sometimes, mate, sometimes rather than a spoofer, it can be a liquidity provider. So what you're seeing is an institution providing liquidity, and if they don't get taken, they don't get taken. It's also very hard to prove. Like, what's the difference between a spoof and me putting an order on and saying, "Oh, I don't like that order anymore," right? So that's the other side of it. Yeah, I would say on the hourly, yeah, I would agree, but I can't see an inverse. Someone was calling for an inverse Head and Shoulders. I was saying like you could argue definitely, you could argue potentially building a right shoulder on the hourly. You could argue, potentially building liquidity here. All I was saying is someone was saying inverse Head and Shoulders. I can't see personally where that inverse is. If price goes down, why would it release those previous sellers? They don't have stop losses. Yes, exactly. Right. So if you were a short seller down here, right, you'd be amazed how many people would not stop out, but they won't. This isn't a big move for a lot of people, right? So when they come back down, if they start getting out here, they get break even. There's your push. And if they stay and hold, all right, and they get let out under here, then they might well add to their position. But yeah, not everyone is disciplined enough to stop out. Some of them clearly were because we got these shoves, but you would be surprised. You'd be very surprised. No worries. No worries, Mr. Grant. Is that sorry? Trying to get used to all your names again since it changed. Okay, so they're having another attempt, these sellers, back into this buying balance down here. Yes, back into its initial balance low down here. The question is, do we break away from this level? Right, we could draw a little shelf on here if you want, if you really, really want. Right, do we break away from this or not? Is there a difference between OB if I use rhythmic data or other feeds? OB, what do you mean? What's OB? There shouldn't be any difference in any price, in any volume or order block. No, I mean there's an order block is just an area of where you've built liquidity, and normally a pullback bar. There won't be a difference. Remember, all futures are on centralized exchanges, so all data, it doesn't matter where you're getting that data from, it comes from the CME. Well, it comes from CME if we were trading NQ and ES. So it's centralized. So everything you see is the same on any single platform. Order book, yeah, no, it's still the same, right? So like I said, it's centralized. They can't, it's not like trading spread bets and stuff like that. Book just got very thin with this guy leaving up here. Someone's playing silly buggers at the moment. Yeah, order book has the same answer. It's all the same, guys. Centralized exchange, right? Futures are on centralized exchange. Same if you're trading gold or silvers, you're trading on COMEX. Centralized exchange. Okay, they're desperately trying to leave and let these players out. They're trying to sell. They're not doing a very good job, but they're trying to do it. ES came underneath its IB, is back inside its IB. It's just a question of acceptance now at this point. Yeah, I agree, Coop. That's how I feel, my friend. Well, if we're doing nothing in 25 minutes, we'll do some giveaways instead. Have some fun. Back to this shelf, top side of the shelf. I noticed that the New York session sets the stage for the rest of the session to be either bullish or bearish Today it's bearish session, so any pullback to the upside is only a correction. I don't think so. I mean, the New York session goes all the way till 4 o'clock, and lots of things change. I think if you, how can I put this? You might well be looking for a pattern that's not there. Be very careful. So drive out of this now, and if they leave this, I mean, there's a little bit of volume here. You can see a little shelf. If they leave this and they come right back to view up again, and we're just going to rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I'm ready to go back to bed right now. So at the moment, I'd say what we're seeing, failure to break down from shorts. All right. This is where they keep piling in. They need to get this move here to let them out. They're failing to get that move. We're not leaving this. We're building liquidity down here. We're in here, inside this, inside this. All right, there ain't much to do here, folks. All right, while this fannies around, I'm gonna go and get a refill of a coffee in a moment. Just see what happened there. Where's this point of control now? 94s. Let's see. All right. Market's waiting for FOMC minutes. I mean, maybe. I just think, guys, we're just in a low volume stage. You have to understand where we are on a calendar, right? They're prepping for their tax right now. Most people are not at trading desks. You know, there's no reason for this market to aggressively move right now. And what's going to happen in FOMC minutes? Oh, we have split decision. Some people want to do 1 to 2 cuts next year. Some people are aware that the jobs numbers are probably being cooked and might be worse. What's my prediction? I think, regardless of what happens right in this FOMC minutes, what is going to happen is the job numbers are going to come, and if they actually print real numbers, they're going to see that we're absolutely fucked, and they're going to have to do more than 1 cut next year, and then we're going to price that in ahead of time because that's what we do as a market. And what the bigger question is do people see these rate cuts as bullish when the economy is in a bad way? That's the big question right now, because I don't think we're going to go into a rate cutting cycle that's necessarily great for the economy. Everyone being like, oh, it's cheaper money, it's cheaper this. Yes, but you need people working, and you need to be delivering, you know, good growth in these companies. You can't just have it in the AI companies. You need good broad sectors across, you know, the other markets outside of AI. But hey, who fucking knows? You know, we're here to day trade. It really doesn't matter. But I can't see the minutes offering some huge surprise. Let's put it that way. All right, I'm going to get a refill and I'll be right back. right. Nothing's changed. Absolutely bugger all has changed. Yes, right at its IB. It's trying to break lower. But, we're going to sleep. We're in this shelf. We're trying to leave this grey shelf. That's what the sellers are looking to do. They're looking to drive price lower at the moment. It's just whether they can find acceptance. We're into a huge imbalance down here from this morning. Like we said, we've got these trap players. Where is it? This one. We've got these trap players down here. Right down here. Right, so this is their pain right now. 680s. So sellers need to get back below 680s. Right, so down here. There you go. Right, so can we let them out now? Do we let them out, or do all these sellers down here start covering break even? That's now your question. We're leaving that grey box though, and the question is, can we get outside of now previous day value area low? If we get continuation, this is going to be like what we saw to the top side. All right, if we leave this, if you're trading this move here, all right, your cover points are here. I'll be very careful at 680. You need to see continuation, and then down into this. All right, what we did earlier today was this, the other side. That was the mirror. Did we get to previous day value area? We did, yes. That was this would be a mirror of earlier. All right, so see how we're reacting off 680s. That's because right now, that's where those guys from earlier are stuck. We just went over it right here, right? This is where they're stuck. So understanding who's stuck and where they're stuck. And they are now covering. So really, you haven't got much to play with. This is the back test of that grey box. So if you're going to sell, and you're convinced that we're going to see continuation under 680, this is the level. But I personally, I'm not doing anything down here. In a D shape, in a rotation. Not much for me to want to do. We're just saying what I'm seeing down here. You can see the importance of that 680. If we get continuation under it, we let all those sellers out. They are trying. But on that last shove down, it was all sell side. Right, so in here, we look inside here. That is completely different to what I have on TradingView, which is on NinjaTrader. But down here on NinjaTrader, this is all sell side, and then we go bid up. And I have down here 36 lot and 26 lot. So let's have a look. I bet you it's reflected on Bookmap. So TradingView seems slightly off there. Where's Bookmap? Here we go. What's the bottom of the auction? There you go. So 35 lot, 36 lot, 99 lot. So you can see the flip here. Aggressive selling on this break of here down into 80. There's the 80s. Right at the low, they've tried to aggressively sell the low, but look what's happened. We've seen passive buyers down there. Probably the guys at 80s that I just talked about earlier. All right, at 80s, being like, okay, we'll get out here. Get out there means they've got limit buys there, and other guys absorbing, and you see the delta flip from aggressive selling to buying, and we're going bid back up now. Right, and this is how the tape moves. It's literally, it's not fucking bullshit algo or any shit like that you hear of a godly man doing it all. It's nothing like that. It's actual participants. Okay. And now we're going back to, this is the grey box. So if you zoomed this out and you wanted to think, well, where is that grey box? Well, it's just this dense level here that we're battling over. If we think about this is your dense level, isn't it? All these sellers and buyers, we can't get acceptance above, and we haven't had any continuation acceptance below. So this is rotation, 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 squeeze, no acceptance. Rotation, 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 drop, no acceptance. Rotation, 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 and we'll see what's next. All right. No, I'm not in a trade. I haven't been in a trade since here. the only trade was this. All right, that's the only trade I took. I would have loved to have been a buyer here this morning, but this move here was disgusting. All right, what I would have loved to have seen down there, all right, as we traded into previous day's value, was something a little bit like one of these. Thanks very much. You know, that is my buying opportunity. But what they did instead was they tapped it and just went boom. And then we squeezed, and then I had to wait for them to make sure that these 20s held. So if you rewind the tape, this is where I was getting long, selling into that. I held a runner. In case we went back up here, I took the runner off as we broke down underneath value. That was it. That's all I've done today, folks. That was probably one of the better setups. The best setup would have been here if they just didn't do this horrible candle. If they had just, you could argue to take that, but if they'd just done something a little bit nicer, I guess that is what it did. But this candle here was gross. The reaction was very quick. Literally tapped value and just actually missed value by a tick, but tapped it and then went. This move was impossible to get. I don't know. It was at the 46 mark, so unless that data came out a minute late. But yeah, I mean, it was either way, it was impossible to get. Here comes the breaks, and now they're breaking away from this grey box. All right, leaving volume. So all these sellers down here not doing a good job of breaking down. All right, can't find acceptance. And if this is the volume that's now trapped, they are starting to stop out. We're coming back to VWAP, and the question is, do we go back above VWAP into this area here, current value area high? And if we get through that, do they go to here? And the rotation will keep happening in here until they find acceptance. And I don't mean until they find acceptance today. Today, tomorrow, next week, they can spend as long as they want in here until one side is cooked enough and they have a catalyst for a break away from it. What is the indicator I'm using? It's the Flow Zones Pro. Right, a version of it comes for free when you do my course. You can upgrade. You can buy it on the website, but you might not know how to use it without doing the course. But it's yeah. I would imagine I've not used it, Jay Koresh, but I would imagine it's exactly the same, right? Because all it's doing is, if it's a heat map, all it's doing is showing you limit players and market players. That's all Bookmap is. It's just a visual representation of the book, right? All Bookmap is a visual representation of the book. For me personally, I learn best with visuals, right? So, and I like seeing historical data. If you're just looking at the book, if you're looking at the DOM and you're looking at the time and sales, I mean, your eyes and your memory is going to have to be absolutely incredible to remember historical data. Right, so to see a guy spoofing, you're going to have to see him on the level 2 on the DOM put his order on and off and on and off and on and off. And unless you've got insane eyesight and insane memories, it's going to be very hard to do, especially in a fast-moving market. At the moment, the market's moving quite slow. But if we're in days where we're doing, you know, multiple hundreds of points, it's very easy to miss those players. All right, so back up to value area high. We just talked about this. If we leave this, get to VWAP through this, we go back to value area high on the day. And if we get acceptance through that, we're going to come back up to previous day's value area high, and the rotation will continue. Oh. And ES coming back up to its New York Open and New York VWAP here as well, folks. What a slow day. I'm up a whopping $750. Fantastic. To be honest, anything over 0 is a bonus in this market. Oh, good for you, Rick. Is that the long from yesterday, mate? Was that a swing long? I remember you saying yesterday you were getting long. Is that the same one? We both talked about it, didn't we? And I said, I think they'll do the stop runs first. And you said, yeah, I think they will as well. I think you were positioned somewhere around here, right? And I said, I think they'll wash them and then reclaim. And that's what you had end of day. Yep, same one swing. Yeah, I think that's really nice. Exactly, that's stop run and 692. Stop run and then 692. Yeah, that's exactly it, what we just talked about here. I remember talking about it with you yesterday when we were here in the morning, saying these are the plays I like is when we do this and then reclaim, wash all these guys out. They become the liquidity for market makers to get long against, and then that's nice. So, and it's just held it. It's held it nicely. So for a swing position, I think you look pretty good. Especially that we're unwilling to break below previous day's value today. That's a good sign for you. I'd like to see it if I don't know how long you'd like to hold your swings are or what the targets are, but I'd like to see it hold a bid here and get back into this for you for a swing. And then you can see if you can find acceptance above previous week's value. Don't know what that was. What the hell was that noise? Okay, so into previous day close here. Previous day value now above. Nice. Nice, mate. Yeah, good. I hope that works out for you, buddy. I think it's a good idea, a good thesis. Hopefully it works out. Oh, nice. So Tyson just said, requesting a payout at the close of day. Effing finally. Nice work, mate. Nice work. Way to go. Sticking to a trade plan, man. That was very proud of you for doing that. What a nice turnaround from, I'd say, midpoint of the year when we probably went over everything. Congratulations. It's great to hear and see. Really nice. Okay, so into previous day value area high here. I actually have it right here on my NT. So can they now bid back above this? Do pullbacks now hold? All right, so structurally we have this here. I'd want it to just hold this and do this move here. Same as this morning, basically. Same kind of thing if they're going to do it. Yes, right into VWAP, New York Open, all those good things. Can they find a bid back up here through value, or are we going to go back in rotation again? So if Rick's going to get his way, we want him to make his money. Obviously, we want everyone to win on this stream. We're not here to do anything else other than make money. We want to see this happen for Rick. That would be nice for his swing position. What we don't want to see is this market collapse the rotation back down to here again. This is definitely a squeeze out though, so it is possible, but we don't want that. We want them to re-squeeze this higher for Rick. We want Rick to win. Come on, Rick. We want Rick to be a happy man. All right, so we want pullbacks to hold for him. It's got a shot here. No worries, man. It's got a shot here. This candle here is full of sellers at the lows. As long as they stay stuck, you look okay. And this candle here was the big buyers. So this transition here, I want that to hold for you. Just based on a very low time frame chart, just what I've seen here. If that doesn't hold, then this pocket might come back down for a refill. So I'd want to see this hold here for a re-squeeze. Otherwise, we might come back into this pocket, which I don't want to see because we've sort of building this out here and this out here and thin between. You can see thin here, but we should get going now. There you go. So hopefully, mate, hopefully we get this move for you now. And if we can find acceptance, let's hope we can find some acceptance over this, and ideally over this, and then we can get back into here. ES back above its New York Open and view up as well, which is good. Where's the VIX? So around PDC, I'd like to see that start breaking down, but we look okay for a slow grind higher here now if the VIX is going to start behaving itself. And I'd say basically 36s, 736s. Under that, we've got sellers stuck. So if we hold above that or around that, 736s down to 727s are where sellers got stuck in here, a lower time frame. All right, so the question is, can we do this sort of low volume drive out now above those levels and cause this squeeze? Here we go. So 750, 755, 765 all on deck here with passive players. 775 looking above that 800. Is there still a player? 830, 840 there is. So still got all that liquidity to feel higher. I think you look really good now for a squeeze out. This is looking much, much better for a squeeze out here. Much, much better. Really nice. So let's see if we can fill these participants into 55 and 65. Here we go. Higher time frame, I'll go up here. I'd like to see us print back above 55s now and find some acceptance in an ideal world. And ideally, I don't want it back below 42 now if I'm looking for higher prices, just because that's where that big seller came in and got himself stuck on Bookmap there. 195 lot came in at, 42, 732 and got himself caught. Really good. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so 55, 65, and then if we could get through the IB, I would feel somewhat confident, right? If we can get through this, because this is a big pivot. It's not just from today, it's from previous day. This is possible, right? This is definitely possible in this session. So we want to see it get up through here and continue to drive higher. '52s, '55s. Imbalance here down to 43s. Where's this big player came in? 42s. Where's this guy here? 37s, was it? 31s. So I want to see this rebid here. Don't want them to collapse this down for you, Rick. I want to see them rebid it. Oh, don't worry. Rag and Rock, it's just automated. Nothing happens even if it does it. It's just Nightbot or whatever. Don't even worry about it. First payout across 4 accounts was approved and Apex sent the funds now. Alex, 2 months into trading. High five. Love it. Love it. Love it. Congrats, man. Congrats, man. Congrats. So this is the kind of level here. You can see this sort of shelf. There's 3. It's unfortunately it's 3, but I think this is possible. I do think this is possible here. You can see this big seller here at 55, and once we run that, might get a squeeze out through up into these. Looking good though. It's just held previous day value area high. This kind of area here, which is what you want. Can we get up into that now? Is the question for you. Let's just do a fib of this, probably into that golden zone. If we're above 61, then you've probably got a good chance. Yeah, we are. Nice. I think it's going to go. I think this has a good chance in going for you. There you go. Beautiful. There's the seller. Just got absolutely wrecked. Now can we get through 60 and find acceptance higher? ES just held its pullback into view up in New York Open as well. It's good. You are looking at opening new 1 hour, 4 hour, or in your strategy. It's not important. Yes, it is important. I do care about the transitions on hourlies and 4 hours. Absolutely, because they provide more liquidity. Why do they provide more liquidity? It's got nothing to do with a magic algo or anything like that. It's because higher time frame traders trade transitions, right? So if you are trading at a bank and stuff like that, all right, guess what you're not looking at? 1 minute charts, all right? Unless your job is to scalp for that bank, what you're looking at is monthly, weekly, dailies, hourlies, 4 hours, right? So why you see liquidity injection in those is because of that. It's literally because of that. So that's, do I care about them? I absolutely do care about them, yeah. What's the best strategy to pass trailing drawdown? It is to, you've got 2 options, right? You've got one option is to size down, right? If you size down, the trailing drawdown will not affect you, right? If you're trading 2-3 micros, it is not going to affect you. I'm talking about 50K account, right? It's not going to affect you. Where people get stuck is they oversize, all right, and they get caught in a pullback and then they blow up on the trailing drawdown. So the first one is to size down. The second way to do it, I'm going to be honest with you, is to be very, very aggressive and use a trailing stop and pass them quick. Is that the best way to do it? I'm not convinced it's the best way to do it. I think you will go through a lot of accounts, but do I do that? Yeah, there are times where I'm very, very aggressive with my accounts in evals because I don't want time decay, because I know I can take consistent payouts for it. So if I need to get through a trailing drawdown eval and it's a one-day pass, sometimes I will be aggressive with it. And the other way is, yeah, exactly what Chad's saying. See money, take money off the table, move your trailing stop up, lock in small gains consistently. The first hour has a huge wick. I don't think anything has a huge wick right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're probably zoomed in. If we zoom, like, if I look at this, I don't see any huge wick. I just see very tight price action, right? Very tight price action. Huge wick would be something like this, I guess, up here, right? If we zoom in to this first hour, right, what you're seeing is huge wicks. If we're just going to actually measure those out, of 40 points. 40 points is not a huge wick. All right, it's not a huge wick. You can see like these are drives up, right? Because we're finding bids off previous day value. But what I would say is nothing in here, okay, is huge, right? This is tiny, right? So don't get too zoomed in. That's all I'm trying to say. Here we go. All right, you're looking good now. All right, so TP1 for anyone who is scalping long. But if we find acceptance above, this is a big multi-time frame pivot. All right, goes back to 29th of December, all right, pre-market, and then again yesterday at 2 in the afternoon, and again yesterday at 10 in the morning. If we find acceptance above this, we should come up into here. Looks good, looks really good. Can I talk to you about how I establish who's stuck? Yeah, it's effectively from delta, right? It's at key levels when I can see one set of participants trade one way and the market move the other way. That's what it is. So if we see aggressive sellers and the market's not moving lower, then we know aggressive sellers are stuck. If we see aggressive buyers and the market is not moving higher, then we know aggressive buyers are stuck, right? And we trade their pain points. Can I get what my idea on selling right now? What my answer would be, what is your setup to sell right now? I don't see a setup to sell right now. Like, your location, you could argue, is not too bad, but what I'm now seeing is we're back above previous day's value, right? We have liquidity to aim for. This isn't just this day. If we zoom out, all these stops are here, and if we run those stops, we are going to search higher. I don't think there's a good idea to sell right now, but you trade what you want, right? I don't think there's a sell right now. The sell would have to be back under here if you're playing a rotation, right? This is not a sell. If you're selling this, what are you doing? You're going to add and add and add. What are you doing when all these stops cover and it comes up to here? You're going to add and add and add and blow up, right? There's your momentum right now. Maybe you get a pullback to here, but it's probably going to be absorbed to go higher at the moment. I don't think there's a sell from what I can see right now. So yeah, if that's my opinion. But you guys do you. If there's something in here you like, you do you. Never used a prop firm, just my own account. Is it worth looking into? Yeah, I'd say it is worth looking into. Just make sure you read up on the trading rules for each one. Understand It's not like playing with your own cash. But the leverage is good. If you've been used to trading your own account, I would say probably better to look at Lucid, Funded Next, or Tradeify. They're a bit easier with the rules if you've been used to trading your own account. Start there. Do I have an idea about Greeks and dealer positions? Is it worth to pay for data? Look, Gamma can be very, very useful. There's no way of denying it, especially in a market run by zero DTEs. It becomes important. So yes, it can be very, very useful, at least to plot it in your chart at the beginning of the days and stuff. And that's, yeah, if you're on tilt, Adam, just disconnect. I mean, you're not going to miss much today, honestly. Okay, they're trying to hold this pullback into these flow zones. Where was that last seller stuck? And what was his size? 48s. Yeah, as long as 48s and sort of 39s-ish hold, then there's a chance for a rebid higher. If they collapse, I wouldn't be short biased in this market unless we come back under value and we lose this down here. All the time we're holding into here, especially into here, there's this rebid chance. All right, is this a squeeze? Yeah. Can they reprice it? Yeah. But I'd be looking, if I was bullish, I'd be looking for them to hold here and finish this now. Don't think there's any reason to get short. Absolutely no reason to get short in my mind. Is there any reason I don't trade my own capital with futures? I'd prefer taking swing positions with my own capital. That's why. I think the amount of leverage and the amount of money you can make from prop firms with very limited risk, if you're a good trader, way outweighs the reason to trade your own capital. And I'd rather put my capital to work in swing positions, which is what I do. It's just a personal thing. It's just how I do it. It's not always been the way. I traded my own capital for years on small caps and large caps. But maybe I'll go back to that if the volatility looks, well, I think the volatility is going to be huge next year. We'll see. But right now, the environment, the amount of money you can make from very, very low, well, huge return on investment right now. Yeah, I do. Anything that I'm looking at swing trade is always posted into Discord. Yeah. Do I trade smaller in buffer? Yeah. Always smaller until you get out your buffer. All right. You've got to earn the right to put risk on. You've got to earn the right to size up. So like, I can give you an example right now. I'm still long Apple, AMD, Amazon. What else am I long? Hang on. And I have been for months. Where is my investments? Here we go. So I'm long Apple still. I'm up 50% on that. Sorry, no, I'm not. I'm up 29%. Don't know why it says that. I'm up 29% on that. Haven't trimmed any. I'm long from 202, I think it was. Amazon, I'm only up 5% on that one. Meta, I'm up about 10% on that. Haven't trimmed any. AMD, I'm up 32%, but I've hardly got any size left. All right, so I was long AMD from 180s. We sold on that huge giant squeeze that happened a couple months ago, and just holding a runner. And then my big winner of last year was, or this year, was Open. We were up about 480% on that. Okay, here we go. So re-squeeze possible. You're looking for initial balance and above, ideally. All right, this you would have seen I've drawn it out numerous times for you. Any hold above here. Ideally, you don't see failed follow through here. Ideally, you see this for a re-squeeze up into there. Let's have a look at the mag. How the mag doing? Not too bad. It looked like they're starting to turn around a bit. So Tesla 0.44% up. Nvidia 0.16% down, looking good, trying to go red to green. Microsoft 0.5% up, Meta 1.25% up, Google over 1/3% up, Amazon 0.16% down, and Apple 0.22% down. So we've got a chance here. It has a chance if they can get going. Do you take swings with the same strategy? Yeah, it's all exactly the same, man. Everything's the same. It doesn't matter what you're trading, what asset you're trading, what time frame you're trading. Everything works the same way. No leverage for me, Joe. Cash. Trade cash. You're welcome, Eddie. Thanks for joining. No, that was a cash position. I can show you. We bought at 198. I think that's what we ended up on it. We bought at 198 on open, and we sold right into the peak when everyone else started buying it. So maybe it was maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it was 400%. We bought 198. Where was that? In this pullback here. I think we actually bought early and sold some and then rebid. So there we go. 450%. I was close. 450%. We got that whole move. It wasn't just me. Lots of guys in Discord got it with me, and we sold up here. I think that was it. Yeah. Really nice. You can see my channel's still on there from when we bought it. All right, we rebid here. And I was bidding against, against old mentors. So that was fun. They were all trying to hammer short. And I was like, it held on the hourly over and over and over again. Right. Those of you who are here will be aware of this, right? You can see this is where I was getting long. There's the accumulation phase. Huge accumulation phase, breakout, pullback, acceptance, held on hourlies, and everything after that was upside until we got into key areas that we were looking at, and then, sold. And it's still actually holding in a nice channel, but it's not interested in it. I got the move I wanted out of it. Couldn't give a fuck what they do with it next year. Don't care. Same with all these names like RGTI, IONQ, all the ones that can go on big squeezes. Take your money when it's there. Don't chase in. Building some nice liquidity here. So a little bit of a shelf starting to be developed here. I'd be watching now. That's your over under. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's just the same play. You would have seen like the accumulation. But if you're going to look for, you got to understand, I used to be a short seller of small caps, right? So if you're going to look to trade long small caps, what are you looking to trade? You're looking to trade people's pain. Most small caps are pieces of shit. You have to understand that. 99% of small cap companies are absolute turds. So what are you looking for? You're looking for shorts to be overexposed in it, right? If they keep trying to hammer a beaten market down short, and you can see a potential shift in that market coming, here's the relief, guys. You watch now for this initial balance high, grey box above you, and see if you can get acceptance. If there's too many shorts involved in a company at lows, and you start to see an accumulation phase, and you start to see some inside buying and all this stuff, then it's likely they're going to start dropping news releases, right? Because they want their exit. The news releases come, you get shorts covering. They are forced to jump over each other to market order out, and you get the big squeeze come, and then you get one pullback in, and they hammer it in again. And if that holds a higher low, you get a T+2 scenario, and we expand higher. And that's exactly what we got over and over and over and over again, until you saw it all over Twitter with everyone talking about, we're getting long open, and that's your exit. That's when you're like, fuck this, I'm out, right? Same thing as you saw on silver at the weekend, right? That blow off move high. How many people retail were buying silver at that high? Lots. Okay. All those extra buyers become the volume for market makers and institutions to sell into. Remember, you've got to pair off. If you're going to sell a big position, if I'm going to sell 1 million shares right now, let's talk about right now. This is going to be a good example, right? If I'm long here, right, let's say 10,000 contracts, okay, and I want to trim some of them, I can't just sell, right? I need a buyer the other side. So where's my buyer? He's probably going to be here, because if this is a short seller and their stops get run, then he's going to become a market buyer. And if I have a breakout buyer here as well, he's got buy orders there. So I know here, maybe I've got 10,000 buy orders. So once we get through here, I can easily sell my 10,000 position without it affecting the market, right? Because I can pair off, right? It is the same, but more important in small caps because you have a lack of liquidity. Hopefully that makes sense to you. That's why it is a game of liquidity. It doesn't matter what asset or what trading vehicle, however you want to frame it in your head. This is a giant game of liquidity. That's all we're playing. It's a game of liquidity, and it's a game of pain. You bought the top by accident. What, you bought all the way over here? I don't know what to tell you. I literally, I don't know what to tell you, JSource. I don't know how much size you're in. I don't know how much exposure you've got. I don't know your risk tolerance. Like, do I think we're going to go higher here? My personal feeling is yes. Right now, I think we're going to probably squeeze out. But, you know, I don't know your exact position. All I know is you said you bought the high. So if you've sat through all of this, if you've bought this, and you've sat through all of this, you know, would I get out? I mean, I probably would have got out here. But do I think it can do this? I do think. I think there's a lot of stops here to run. Right? But I don't want to tell you to hold because you're in a horrible position. But there's so many stops here that I think we go and run up into here. And that's when you'll get the squeeze and the pair off of liquidity that I talked about. So here we go. Big drive up. They're going to try and run these stops now. You missed the trade at the open. Can you show the win again? I don't think I traded the open, my friend. My trade was here. I didn't trade this. My trade was this drive up. Looking for the same thing we're looking for now, really, to see if we can get back above this. All right, so there's probably going to be a stop hunt. You'll probably see liquidity come. There's the stop hunt. You see that? That's the pair off. We just talked about it. That's literally the pair off here. All right, because everyone who's smart, who bought down here, is going to use these stops to trim their position. Remember, we just talked about like a 10K move here. You just paired it off. All right, and I can show you that right here. All right, these are all buy orders. They are not sell orders. All right, so think about this. If Alex bought low and he has 10,000, right, limit order, sell orders here, all right, I just paired them off with all these guys chasing the market. Now I've trimmed my position without me affecting price too much. Here comes the squeeze, and they're going to try and come up into here now. Looks really good. I forget. I'm really sorry. I'm still trying to remember everyone's names who's new here, but Rick's long. It's Rick that's long off the lows on the swing, and I think he looks good now. All right, so you want to see price continue to auction higher now. And you can see how this is all buy side, all right? These are stops. These are either market buy order stops, all right? Or their sell stops getting popped. And this is where smart people trim their position and now hold runners up into here. Hopefully, like, this is starting to make sense to you all you guys that are new. Giving you an education in liquidity here for free. Doing my best to give you one anyway. All right, so this is the target up here now. This is what we were looking for earlier today. The trade we took earlier today from here to here, we were holding those runners. It's the same trade, right? We're looking to see if we can run these stops to get expansion into here. It's exactly the same trade now, right? This is the same position. It's the same hold. It's the same thing. We're looking at the same levels for the same thing. Really nice. Here's the expansion. Right, I'd be watching sort of 800 whole numbers here. We have got some imbalances from yesterday, so 97 to 99 is one, and 806s to 808 is another, and then value area high. Nice, JSource. There you go. There you go. Priska with a W, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Really nice. Hopefully that makes sense. I mean, does everyone understand what we've just gone over? Do you actually understand why the market moves the way it does? It's got nothing to do with an algorithm. That's not to say that algorithms are not in the market, but the way it moves, right? The reason we use volume, the reason we use horizontal levels, the reason we have things like flags and all these things is if you can understand the difference between the type of order sitting at a level and understand what that looks like, you will start to be able to build a narrative. If you, how can I put this? You need to create a story of what is happening in the market, all right? And when we come to a junction like this, right, this is us, we're about to turn the page here, right? So what is likely to happen? Well, smart money will trim some position into here. Now, if they reload this, we're going to go here. If this is a look above and fail, then what I would say is everyone who got long here sold into this, then we have breakout buyers caught and we come back under and we fade back down, right? So we are building a narrative. So if you hear me say, this is what I'm looking for here, but if we do this, this can happen, it's because there's two sides of every trade available, right? If they don't have enough shorts caught yet to get up here, then this is possible, right? It's possible. Doesn't mean it has to happen. If they've got enough caught and they're like, fuck this, we're going higher, we've just done the damage, then this is the move. There's always two things possible. If anyone tells you this is 100% happening, they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. Awesome. That's great, Tim. I'm glad it was helpful. Glad it's helpful. Awesome. Yeah, lots of you. I think it's helping a lot of you, which is great. If you want to take on some risk, are newer and want to actually trade live without getting completely smoked, buy and sell shares of TQQQ. I mean, triple leveraged. I mean, if you're new, just trade the Qs. Just trade QQQ. Don't go triple leverage. But yeah, I mean, I do take positions on those. Stayed patient since 9:30. I got $205 today. Let's go. Hey, I love it, man. That, like, the most important thing of what you said is not the money. It's the first two words you said. It is the first two words that you said. Stayed patient. Really good. All right, back to this sort of grey box in IB. So if we're going to see expansion, you would want to see them hold this. All right, if they don't hold this, the rotation is back down to where? Well, we have a little shelf here. This can still do this. It's possible to do that. It's not ideal, but it's definitely possible. We have a lot of stops here. Really, a sign of strength would be this. Alternatively, it would be this. What you would not want to see is this. Now, let's check the auction in here and let's look at the highs. All right. It doesn't look too good. I'm going to be honest with you. The amount of buying here. Draw this on. All right. Look at all this buying. Buy, 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 buy. Higher day currently is a buy. Flip to sell, you can see the delta starting to flip. We have buy side imbalance down to here. So if they want to reprice to here, we want price to hold into here. We don't want it to start coming under the build out of liquidity. If you think about how they've built this, all right, dum, 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 we want to hold this. All right, we start getting under here, we look a bit weaker. Giveaway time. Oh, give me a second, man. Yeah, we can do some giveaways. We'll definitely do some giveaways. Let's just manage your positions now. Let's watch this tape for a couple minutes, and then we do it. All right, we do it straight away afterwards. Thanks, man. Your discussions have really helped me trade. I usually trade the same on stocks, finding traps where mainly shorts are trapped and would be covering. Can I use your indicator on stocks? Yeah, it will work on anything. All right. All my indicator is, the only thing that it won't work on is the Globex positions, right? But it will give you pre-market. All right, so these orange lines, not this line, this is the higher time frame algo, but the horizontal ones are Globex. But yeah, it will work on stocks. I use it on stocks myself. Yeah, yes, trader on tilt. Totally. There is zero chance all tickers run without being computer driven. There is not enough manpower for BlackRock to handle all stocks. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, there are plenty of algos in the market. There's just not one algo dictating everything. That is just a way of looking at the market. It's not reality. To be honest, mate, already made 380 just trying to see if I can get any more. Yeah, don't try and squeeze. I don't know what's been said above. I've probably missed stuff, but don't try and squeeze more out of stuff if you're chasing. I don't know what you've said. I've clearly missed some messages. Hoping it continues. I mean, it still looks good. Pullbacks are still holding. All right, you're just at IB. You're at this little grey nugget here. I mean, it's possible it comes down here. It would not be ideal, but it's very possible. But as long as they hold somewhere around here, if you think about the swing pivot, right, and if we think about multi-day, right, there's your pivot, right, you want it to hold there. Worst case here, you want it to hold somewhere in this range, and then to complete this move. I certainly wouldn't be looking short right now, personally. What value do you have as your IB high and NQ? What do you mean? What price is the IB high? 775. I know, CB. I know. There you go. That's awesome. Made $85. Extremely happy because it's not the money, but the strategy I was able to use. Thank you. That's it. Once you start focusing less on the finance and more on your strategy, refine the strategy, stick to the strategy. If you know you've got strategy which wins multiple times, if you're willing to be patient, you will start seeing success. God, can't talk. Still holding this in balance. Still looks okay right now, I'd say. Still looks okay. Yeah, it's not quite as pretty. Can I use Trend Friend to help me identify market sentiment before I place a trade to check if I'm aligned with the trend or going against? Yeah, you could. Like, look, Trend Friend's here. All right, so your lower timeframes today have been neutral, but your higher timeframes have been bullish. All right, but I wouldn't use it solely alone. But what do we look for? All right, who did the video at the weekend? Right, what's this, Mr. 200? What's this, Mr. 20? Where do we see acceleration once we get outside of this? All right, why? Because this is basically your hour. That's your hourly pivot. Boom. All right, went over it in the free video at the weekend. If you move down to lower time frame, would have given you more opportunities, quite possibly. Same kind of area. Reclaim in low volume. All right, so I wouldn't rely on one sole thing, especially if it's an indicator. But does it provide areas of incentive to help you? Even if you played this inside bar, look at the inside bar build. There's your white bar. There's the green arrow for Trend Friend. There's your expansion through the stop. All right. So there are ways of using it to help you, for sure. That's why we designed it, to keep it very simple. It's very beginner friendly, that Trend Friend. And it's free. Having and following your strat is what pays over time. Yep. From there, you learn to adjust the sizing based on the quality. That's exactly it, mate. A plus trade where you know it's high probability, you size up, you add into it. B, C setups, small size, or you leave alone. I totally agree. Hey, mate, I just started trading today. I made 380 on eval. Any advice? Well, just go nice and slow, trade again tomorrow. If you've made that money today, I'd ask yourself, is there a setup here which is any good? And if the answer is no, I'd question being here in the afternoon, get off the screens, come back tomorrow, do the same thing. Yeah, prices trading is exactly what I'm looking to do. So I currently have 20 Apex accounts for next year, and I have 2 Lucid accounts. I'm working on another Lucid account. I've just lost all my funding ticks accounts, funding ticks accounts after what they did. Some will know in Discord, because I didn't trade over Christmas, I had a few of them removed, which is a load of bullshit, but there we go. It is what it is. And I couldn't give a shit, to be quite honest, given how they've operated. So goodbye, good riddance. And I need to add on some funded next and some Tradeify. Oh, I forgot that I even had a Tradeify. I think I bought one. I might need to be using that before I forget. I'm sure I have one. Let's have a look. But yes, it's exactly what I'm looking to do. Yes, I have accounts, but it's not showing. Let's see if we can get this fixed. Been a minute since I've traded with them. It's weird. I don't think you can see it. Sorry, folks. I only just realised that. It's lucky you said that. It reminded me. Maybe I need to sign some docs, because it's been a while. Okay, I've got a problem with my Tradeify account. No account showing. Let's have to email them. Thank God one of you just mentioned that. I would have forgotten. There we go. Why did I choose to trade futures rather than QQQ? Leverage and firms, and I still trade QQQ. It's just more swing. Sorry, folks, let me just deal with this. What's happening in the market? Okay, pulling back to that value area high, so it didn't continue. All right, so failed to hold this grey box. So this is the move back down to value. If they lose this down to here, if they lose all of that, all the way down. All right, so the rotation continues. It's unfortunate. Never was able to hold for that pivot, but it gave a good move up from here to here and from here to here. All right, and we still remain inside the previous week's value. We do giveaways in a second. Sorry, I'm just online to their chat because there's something wrong with this. All right, I'll do some giveaways in a moment. Sorry, folks. Few hours. Okay, perfect. There we go. Good service. Good work, Tradeify. All right, catch up with the chat and then we do a giveaway here. I wanted to check this fib for this run up. Would you anchor to the very bottom value area low, the current session value area high, small swing? Mo, it depends what I'm looking to trade, right? So if I was looking at this current extension, right, I'd go from here to here. Or if you were looking for this pullback now, I'd just be going from here, from this swing point. All right, so back down to here. If you were looking beyond that, if you were zoomed out, we'd be thinking from this high to here, and we just got stuck in sort of this golden zone. So at the moment, like, we're just nothing more than a rotation. Buyers did have the chance there to come in. They had the chance up here to really cause a re-squeeze. So there's one big leg up. This is still a pullback. The question is, where do they hold this? They can hold here. They failed to hold here. They failed to hold here. It's quite drastic. Maybe they offer this later. Maybe they save that for next week. I don't know. But there is a big shelf down here where we broke out from, right? So leaving this, remember, it's these short sellers here that caused this move. Buyers then came in, completed part one, squeeze above. Remember, we talked about the pair off, like 10K, for example, pairing off. If you were buying here and you wanted to sell into this, this is the squeeze to sell into. They would have held runners for this move here, same as I did from here to here, holding runners. They don't get that way. Right, so the question is there an area of value which they rebid and try another attempt at it or not? The problem that you've now got is you need to obey structure and shelves. All right, so you have these volume nuggets little here now. So the question is, if buyers cannot reclaim, all right, sellers can come back in and sell this and try and get back down to this low. It's possible if we get no acceptance here. So if you get a look above in this is possible to reprice this. You have to be aware to be able to take every side of the tape when we're in rotational markets. Can't be too bullish, too trend driven. Nice JSauce. What indicator do I have turned on? This is my Flow Zone Pro. Right. Comes with the course. What volume profile am I using? Anchored to 930. What do I think of FOMC today? Like the meeting? Nothing. I don't think anything of it. promo code for the course. The volume profile and order flow course does have $100 off right now. Ends January 1st. Code is launch, capital letters. Launch, capital letters. No, let me check if there's one on the other course. I don't think there is one right now, but I will check. Why do the candles change from red to blue? Because we're underneath the flow zones. Momentum has been lost. All right, bullish momentum. Bearish momentum. Under the flow zones. Where can I see? FCT right now will get you 10% off. FCT will get you 10% off the courses. All right, let's do some giveaways. If I can log in here, it would help. Okay, going to give away an Apex account, any size. Just type FCT in chat. Only type it once. Right, if you type it more than once, Nightbot will pull you out for spam. So just type it once. Give you guys a minute or two to do that, and we give away a free Apex account. Remember, Apex still on sale. 90% sale on Apex with cheap activation until Jan 6th. Yeah, I see him, 605. I think it's just an algo playing games, but we'll see. He's never coming in like at an aggressive level, and he's lifting every time. Oh, I see him. Give you guys like 30 more seconds here. Yeah, I mean, they got really aggressive here on the sell. It wouldn't be surprising to see them lift this a little bit and then see what they do into some of these. And do they want to fill this, or are they going to go full reclaim? Anything is possible right now in a rotational market. Be aware of both. Okay, how long left? Let's give you guys 25 seconds left, and then we'll pull the winner. So just type it once in chat. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. The winner is Crypto Digital Wise 9699. Are you here, crypto digital wise? Let me know you're here, crypto digital wise. He's sleeping. Might well be at the moment. Gonna give him. There he is, or there they are, I should say. All right, congratulations. All I need you to do is, you're welcome. You're welcome. Send me an email. I'm going to make a note of your name here. Send me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. And I want to see a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube so I can see it's you. So if you just attach a screenshot of you logged in, and I will sort you out with a free Apex account, right? Any size you want. All right, so info@flowzonetrader.com. Right. We're going to give away a free introduction to trading course. So just type course in to chat once. This is a very beginner friendly course, only 2 hours long. It's not one of the main ones, but if you are interested or you want to gift it to a friend, by all means do it. It's absolute introduction. It's only worth $99, not one of the big mentorship courses, just so you're all aware. I'll give one away. All right, while you do that, I'll use the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right. 10 more seconds. Call this winner. Okay. 3, 2, 1. TPT Trader. I'm sure TPT Trader won already. Or did you win a Apex account? Either way. Are you here, TPT? They won last week, yeah. Oh, you won Apex. Well, look at that. Well, clearly a lucky man. You should buy the lottery ticket soon. Okay. I'm going to make a note of it. So intro course. Same thing as last week then, mate. Just shoot me a email with you logged in. Or you can follow the chain of the one last week. And I'll sort you out an introduction course. Okay, market breaking down. So we're going back into rotation. So it failed to get back above here. This value area high. Losing VWAP, probably comes back down into here. I'd be watching this like little pivot here just in case. But I mean, there's just nothing to do with this. This is no follow through. No follow through. What the helly? Yeah. What the helly? I've never won anything either. I don't think I've ever won anything free ever in my life. Oh, Adam, you're fading it from here. Okay, so you're playing the rotation. So TP1, TP2, bonus territory, right? If you're playing that rotation. So this move here would be here if we do it. That's your bonus territory move. Trader Doc. I win stuff all the time. Oh, man. Take care, man. Take care, take care. All right. So you've got until 1st of Jan if you want to do the volume profile and order flow course for the discount. Use code launch capitals. Okay. Get your $100 off. After that, it's full price. Maybe we can do something with the mentorship one. I did just run a sale though. Previous day low after lunch break. I mean, look, if we just zoom out right now, it's hard to think about it doing much at all right now. I wouldn't rule either thing out. It was trying to find acceptance. It couldn't. If we do this, possibly. This is the level I'm really interested in. If we can come back down there early Jan. But, you know, at the moment, the question is, are we looking to do this on the market? There's the old balance range, right? Are we looking to do that? How far does pullback need to come? If we come back into here and buyers don't show up, and we've had, remember, ES has done this, or at least SPY has, an RTY, and they start going into a bit more of a liquidity crunch, then maybe we don't bid off that. So I'm trying to be so flexible right now based on higher time frame, like macro environment, going into a new year, that anything is possible. I'm trying, like in my head, I'm trying to be flexible that anything is possible. How many of you here, if I do a flash sale for you guys like I did for Christmas, how many of you here want to do the 20-hour course? Maybe I'll do a flash sale until midnight New Year's Eve. But I won't promote it. It would just be for you guys on YouTube. Okay. Let me see. See if I can change this or not. Will it let me do it? All right, I've set up a flash sale for you. So code is 2026. It will only work on the beginner to advanced course. It's 20% off. It ends midnight, New Year's Eve. I will not be promoting it. All right. So it's basically, it's just for you regulars that turn up. You guys who've stuck around long enough. All right. It's there for you. If you want it, there's zero pressure. Like I said, if you're new here, I'd probably go and watch all my free videos first. Make sure you want to do it. But there we go. Just for the regs. So I appreciate you lot turning up each and every day. Makes my life a lot more fun. Let's face it, this is a very boring job to do by yourself. Very boring. Very, very boring. You're welcome, everyone. Yeah, no worries. You're welcome. So 2026, you want to go to the website. In fact, I better make sure it works, eh? Before I tell you it all, make sure I've not made an error because I didn't ask my dev. Trading course, buy now, 2026, apply. Yes, it's working. So right now it's $519, right, with that sale. Prices are going up next year as well. So for those of you interested, good luck. Market's gone to sleep again, eh? It's gone to sleep again. Can I link the website? Yeah, it's underneath you. Okay, I'll put it. Oh, let me do it for you here. Where's YouTube? There you go. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sorry, I'm just catching up with chat here. Great analysis, Alex. You're welcome. What are my plans for the rest of the day? It's a good question. I've got a little bit of work to do with some of my other business stuff. Unfortunately, it'd be nice if I didn't, but I do. It is a friend of mine's birthday, but I can't make it. He's already left, so he's gone to play golf at Trump over by Palos Verdes. What's the weather like? Well, it's a bit shit right now. So maybe I'll meet him for some beers in the clubhouse afterwards or something. That would be nice, if possible. What's the weather going to be like today? Please be sunny. Overcast. Well, it's better than rain. I will take my dog for a walk and try and catch up with some friends. What divergence correlation do you use? Well, the main ones I'm watching are the VIX and the ES and then the ETFs versus NQ. Ian says it's a good course. I'm quarter of the way through. Awesome. Does the $100 off discount code from the 2-hour stack? Oh, no, unfortunately. Well, I don't think it does. You never know. I don't think it does, but maybe. I don't think it does, though. I'm new to the stream this week. You said something that changed my trading, so thank you. I made 200-ish bucks across most accounts and did it all week. My buffer levels are almost full. Hey, that's awesome, man. Congrats. That's awesome to hear. Adam, come to Papa. Yeah, it's almost there, mate. It's almost there. Let's just have a quick look for you here. Make sure there's... So I haven't got my charts up right now because there's a bit of a reaction. Yeah, this is where you can see where these buyers stepped in before. Is there a pivot here? Here and here. So I'll be watching 20s, 13s, 04s, right? So you're starting to see a little bit of a reaction there. It can still trade lower, but just be I'm not. I think you would have taken the short. You would have either taken it here or here. Maybe here, unless you took this shelf leave. But I'm assuming you're short here, looking for this move. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to catch up with you. Do the flow zone indicators work on NinjaTrader? Yeah, there's an upgrade. You can buy them for NinjaTrader. If you do the course, or you're buying the course, you can opt into an upgrade at a discount, but you can get them all on my website, flowzonetrader.com. So if you want them on NT, you can get them there. Hey, Flowzone, heading out. Nice stream. Great being here. Yeah, thanks for joining again, Rick. I hope that swing position works out for you. Fingers crossed. Did I go snowboarding? No, unfortunately. Heard the mountains out there got some incredible powder. We got lots of powder, but the rain was so bad that we had landslides on all the roads to get up there. Mount High only opened yesterday, and I think it was only like half of it open. I'm not even sure Baldy has been able to get open yet. And then there were 2 avalanches, and some of them died. So, yeah, it's haven't been able to get up. So maybe I'll be able to go in the next day or 2. Would be good. Would be good, seeing as I just got my board waxed and sharpened, and then just sat here. Do I play golf? Occasionally, very badly. I used to be all right, but it is actually on my list to do next year to improve my trading, is to get some new golf clubs and to start going golfing, because I have a course 5-10 minutes away, and to build up that patience and resilience might be good for me. Do I have some goals next year? Do you have some goals next year as go back to DJ gigs and touring life a little? No, I have absolutely zero ambition. Oh, that's right. The game is on today. I have zero ambition to go back to DJ touring life at all. I enjoy engineering, making some music and stuff, but I have no way. I couldn't think of anything worse, to be quite honest with you. No ambition to do that. Gold next year. I'd like to invest in some other businesses. I'd like to do something a bit more creative outside of trading. Something where I can take a meeting 1 or 2 days a week and actually have some FaceTime with some human beings would be nice. I'd like to do some more charitable work next year as well, or do something more, some more give back stuff. That would be fun. Probably want to buy some more property next year, if I'm honest. Maybe in the US this time. Yeah. Do the indicators work on NinjaTrader? Yes. Superton. Yes, they do. Have I been to Dubai? Yeah. 2 of my best mates live in Dubai. I have been numerous times. I've DJ'd in Dubai. I've stayed there many, many times. I bought my wife's engagement ring from Kara's in Dubai. So yes, been many times. Risking VWAP and Node for runner. Yeah, I think you look good still. I'd almost expect a pop because of the grind down. So just don't let a big pop like come and ruin all your profits. That's all I'd say. Am I located in the UK? No, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm from the UK, but I'm in Los Angeles. Do flow zones work on TradingView? I can't tell if you're taking the piss now. Well, we're looking at TradingView and you're looking at flow zones. So does FZT work on TradingView as a code? No, I don't think they have codes on TradingView. I can give you a link for a pro account, but I don't think you'll save much money. You're better off. I'm going to be honest with you, CB. You're better off waiting for, and I don't know if they have it now, but for like a Black Friday sale or an Easter sale or something like that, you will save so much money if you can wait for the big TradingView sales. Take care, Connor94. Take care. Flow Zone golf trip. Could be fun. Yeah, Caribou Cup, Jan 14th. I'm not too worried about Caribou. I'll take some silverware, but I don't mind if we go out with it. What kind of music do I produce? All sorts now, but I had a pretty good career in house, deep house, or what you guys would call EDM over here. Have I done a video on Bookmap in detail? Only in the volume profile and order flow course. I haven't done one for free. Going to call the market makers now and ask them to push price lower, at least down to previous day value area low. That's all I'm asking. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Like, it's teased it a few times. Have I ever read what algo traders and quants say about scalping and technical trading? I don't. No. DJ'd in Dubai. Yeah, I played the F1. I've played lots out there actually. I played Atlantis. I played the F1 Grand Prix. I played. Is it Queen Elizabeth? What's the ship that they have out there? Planted. Played in there. Where else have I played? Played loads out there. I used to play out there a lot. Played for Cafe Mambo out there. I forget what that place was called. Let me see if I've got some of the pictures. It was really good fun. I used to go there 2-3 times a year. Back in the day, a long time ago now. Long time ago. Bass house, G house music. Curious what he listens to after saying that. Well, for me, well, I won Bass House Award, Producer of the Year in 2014, and I used to tour with Amin Edge and Dance. So there you go. But both of those I used to do. I'm good friends with all that crew, Lorenzo and all those boys, all the North England boys. Jamie Duggan and all that lot. Trying to see if I can find when I was in Dubai. Go back a long way. Jesus Christ. So old now. What a shame. I look back and I don't even recognize myself. That's Miami. That's Asia. It's got, I think it's around here. That's got to be too early now. Gone past it. Good memories. I love looking at photos. Good times. ADE. That was Blue Marlin. That was in that Emirates. I think that was Circle Loco. That was a long time ago. I can't find it. Anyway, good times. What was I famous? I don't know if famous is the right word, but I had a good career. Let's just say I've got quite a few discs. The data they present showing real outcomes of thousands of day trades across long periods of time. Probably be a bit shocked at the evidence data that all scalping is random. The outcomes show everyone here gets totally random outcomes. So I think that's fucking bullshit. I think that's bollocks. It's all about entry and location. That's bollocks. That's absolute bollocks, mate. I'm sorry. That's a quant saying that. Well, quants probably get totally fucking random outcomes. So I'm not buying into that. Sorry. If you're going to enter a random position, you're going to get a random outcome. If you understand who's trapped, you're not going to get it. How else did I know that was going to happen? That's not random. This grey box not random. This rotation isn't random. This hold of this isn't random. This isn't random. If you want to enter here, well, you're random, right? So I just don't know. That's just fundamentally flawed. Sorry, don't agree. They can say what they want, but I don't agree with it. Not going to lie, you helped me pass my compound today. I was on a slow, steady grind, 9 green consecutive days. I took the short at IB high once I saw the rejection on the 30 minutes, but your long helped. Oh, so you were going to be short here, but that stopped you, and then maybe you came back in here. Nice. $442 up today. Thank you, Alex. You're welcome. I mean, I don't know if I'm fun anymore. I was probably fun in my 20s and 30s. Stocks, golf, snowmobiling, bass house music. I mean, I haven't DJed for years and years and years now. For a long time. It's been a long time. But, I mean, I can show you. Let me see. I can show you some fun videos. You guys will laugh. But seeing as it's New Year's and Christmas, you guys will have a laugh. See me looking like an absolute wally. Let me get this on the right screen. I'll make this smaller for you guys. Where are you guys? Bookmap. All right. This is me and Genuine shooting our music video in LA. Hang on, get this up. You guys see that? This is many, many years ago. How many years ago? It's got to be a decade. There you go, 10 years ago. I'm in here somewhere in a stupid red outfit. Somewhere. Here I am, somewhere around here. Little cameo for my own record. That's my mate Steph I did it with. So stupid. There he is. Good times, man. Yeah, good times. Good memories. Good memories. Different life, man. Different life, but I toured a lot, I drank a lot, and I did all the extracurricular stuff as well, I'll be honest with you. I was surprised I'm still alive sometimes. I don't look 40. That's very kind of you. I don't feel 40. It's only when I look back at me in my youth and I'm like, it just feels so... It's weird. It's like it was yesterday and... Here you go, Adam. Here's your cover. Here's this shelf. So full rotation. All right. Look above IB, fail. Look above value, fail. Rotation. Cover point was this, right? Runners now, in case you get down there. Daryl Joseph. That's a great lyric from an old Camel Fat tune. Is it Camel Fat actually, or is it Salado? It might be a Salado record. I can't remember. You're going to get long off point of control. Fuck, I'm not touching any of this, man. This is no chance. Not for me. You guys do what you want. You know how much I hate rotational plays, so you guys should play what you like. Play what you're enjoying. All right, I'm going to get out of here in a minute. That was a bit of fun. Let you guys into my old career. Maybe when I go back to London, I keep saying if we buy a house here, I'll bring all my discs and decks back, and maybe we'll have them behind me. And maybe on like a Friday afternoon, we'll change the stream after after trading to a DJing stream. Could be some fun. Could be some fun. Yeah, boiler room. Yeah, we'll call it Boiler House. I quite like that. Boiler House, because the boiler room is a trading room as well, isn't it? We'll call it Boiler House. Boiler House Fridays. I fucking love that, Adam. Justin, I randomly made $1,200 today. There you go. There we go. Do you DJ, Brandon? FCT after hours, yeah, exactly. Boiler. I really like Boiler House. That's cool, man. Do I produce? Yes, I do. I do. I'm still a producer. I'm still signed to Warner Chappell. I actually just re-upped my publishing deal. So yeah, I'm still producing. I still write. It's much more rare for me now. It's when I want to do it, and then I just either put stuff out under an alias or I sell it. But yeah, it's just when I want to do it now. It's not my job. This is my job now. But sometimes if I'm feeling creative, I'll go and do something. I do actually talking about having a gig in London soon. We'll be back in LA in February. I'm currently in Asia. Where in Asia are you, Brandon? No, I produce on Logic. Everything I do is in Logic. Unless I'm doing a mixtape, I'll do it in Ableton. All my old stuff is under a name called Tough Love. I'm not part of it anymore. I haven't been part of it for 4 years. But Stefan's still one of my best mates, the guy who's doing it. We were a duo together for almost 15 years. I'm in China. I can't stand trading there anymore. I actually DJ'd in China. I got flown out by Spencer Tarring and Mint. Is it Mint Club in Shanghai? He was like a resident there, and he set up an underground party, which we went and I got 3 songs in before we got closed down by the triads. I'm not actually joking. I'm deadly serious. I was in Shanghai. I want a Dubai vacation so badly. I'm afraid of going overseas these days. Oh, Dubai is super safe. No problems there. When in Shanghai? Probably 2015. A long time. 2015. What, Mint's gone? Yeah, I'm sure it has. I used to know all the guys. All the guys there were the old London residents from the West End. It was all the same crew. 2015, maybe 2017. I feel like it's before then. I don't think I would have been there 2017. It was probably 20. It was probably actually before 2014. I think it's maybe 2013 because Spence came over to see me after that. Yeah, I know. It's well over 10 years ago. I'm old. I haven't DJed in a long time. Told you. Left that behind me. Long time ago. All right, folks. Do I know a London DJ named Mike Bond? No. I've been to Mint. We stole a rickshaw to get back to our hotel. Boy, I was stupid back then. Do I know Max Chapman? Yeah, I know Max. Was working on a job with him before his he's gone back to that. He's still building again, right? He's building houses and doing refurbs. He just did a tune with who's that singer? Oh fuck, it's killing me. Something Man. Why can't my brain think? He just signed it to Defected. Or I say just, probably a couple months ago. come to me in a minute. I used to do investment banking in LA, and I quit to do music. Yeah, we've swapped. We've traded. We've traded careers. I've gone the other way. Music. Look, music industry is fun. It's what I love about trading is it's on you. You eat what you kill. So if you're disciplined and you have a system and you trade well, you will make money. The problem with music or anything which is creative is you're always at the mercy of someone else's opinion. You know, so first thing you got to do is like build your track record, and then you've got to go and get yourself a deal, and then you go and spend a shit ton of money on press and promo, and then you send it to radio, and you know maybe they don't like it, or maybe before then you can't get a deal because the A&R doesn't like it. I mean, I can tell you now, my two biggest hits, which were big hits, got turned down for like 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years before anyone would touch them. We got told like no one would like it, blah blah blah. We were playing them in our DJ sets. We knew they were the standout records. My manager at the time couldn't get it signed. We went and cleared a Jodeci sample. We gave it to Annie Mac. She premiered it on the Friday, and guess what? My phone was fucking ringing by the Monday with people wanting to do a deal, and then we did an album deal off the back of it. That just shows you life can change like that, and it's all down to someone's opinion. I think A&R is a load of shit nowadays. They probably care more about your metrics of TikTok and Instagram than they do about your actual ability. My belief has been the same and maintain this the whole time. I think there are some insanely talented people that will never make it because they'll never be given an in. And you would have expected out of something like COVID, where you had so much depression, so much hurt, so much pain, and so much time, that would be some incredible music come out. And instead, we had regurgitated shite. And that speaks more about the state of the industry than it does about the artists, in my opinion. It's just my opinion, right? It's just my opinion. Yeah, Frankie, I know. My last show in LA was with Frankie. He's, I just actually saw this morning, he's about to announce a residency at Pasha this summer. Yeah, I know Frankie well. Hard to make a living from it. Yeah, and yeah, it can be. I mean, these days you are sold everything, never get assigned, social media, pushing promotions, everything. Yeah. I DJ and a lot of consulting work for foreign artists to bring Chinese artists overseas. Oh, no. That's nice. Do I like chicken tikka masala? I love these questions. I love chicken tikka masala. You cannot get a good curry in LA, though. I'm telling you that. It's not like being in Brick Lane or in the Midlands in England. When I said any questions, I meant more like, do you have any questions about the charts that I can help you with this afternoon? Oh, it's hilarious. We're into discussing what our favorite takeout is. Yeah, don't blame you. I'm about to sign off as well. Oh, it's funny. I know, it's hilarious, isn't it? The national English dish is actually an Indian curry. I'm not a Greg sausage roll guy. That's not my thing. Just reminds me of motorway stops. This jacket, this is Scotch and soda. It's funny you say that, SG Trades. I was actually looking at that for a swing position. Let's have a look. The only worry is it's I think it's at a deep discount. Right, we're back to start of the year. So if we think about, we've given back the whole year. I will look at this because this is interesting for me. Where's Jan? Right, we've given back the whole year and more. We're trading at deep discount. Obviously, this is direct correlation to BTC. All right, so if we have a quick look at BTC, you're going to see it look very, very similar. All right, very similar. Peak high, we're trading at what level? March 25. So MSTR worse. I do wonder if this is due a pop. I do wonder if this starts to lift. If we want to think about the whole rotation, because I think it's been decimated quite hard. I mean, it can't even figure that out. That's so bad. What is it doing? That's fucking ridiculous. How much are we down on that? Swing to swing. Let's just get the days right. So it's a 2-year cycle. Down 72%. Trading at the same levels as 2024 highs. Doesn't mean it can't come lower, but I'll be lying if I said I wasn't interested. Definitely if we drifted anywhere into here, but I think there's probably a turnaround due, even just for a pop back in. If I was a short seller, I'm like, this is how I would view this, right? Even if we do a fixed range from this break, and if we do an anchor from the high. No, you don't want to do that anchor. You're going to play ball. You don't want to do it. Okay, thanks, TradingView. You absolute garbage piece of crap. Let's do one, draw one on then. Anchor this. Let's do an anchor from previous year. Let's just do one from here a second. Big node here. So this is where I'd be interested in. Let me just get a volume. Anchored VWAP 1 second off the high. One more. And let me get one from this pivot here. It's not good. I was hoping that would be underneath. That's not great. And I'm going to assume these guys are all out the money as well. Yeah. Okay, that would be my only concern right now. I'm going to be honest with you. So you've got this build out of a node here. All right, if we can't hold that, my expectations would be for a trade down into 30s. Okay, do I think it's due some relief? Yeah, I mean, it did have some last week. I think at some point you're going to see a trade back into here. All right, because you've got to imagine this is where guys off these highs are stuck right now. 275 to 230s, let's just call it. This anchor of the low is a problem. The fact that they've accumulated since 2022, all right, and they're now out the money is a problem. And we've just failed. You can see this trade back to it. They just failed, all right? They failed the reclaim. That was an attempt of a reclaim of that anchor, all right? So I'd be careful. I wouldn't feel the need to front run it. I'd be careful for this drift. But at some point, do I think this is going to happen? Yeah. As a trade, whether it's from here or here, it's highly probable at some point we lift back into the 80s. Now, whether we reclaim that or not is different, but that's still like $100+, even from here, like $150 move. If shorts want to leave these participants trapped, then they will resell this, right? And then we'll use the liquidity. It really depends on the macro sort of environment for next year. Let me just check one more thing while we're here. Come on, TradingView. The fuck is going on? Oh my God, it's gone mental. Can I not put moving average on this? It's not going to let me do it. Let's just do, actually, just want this, a 200. Where's my 200? Yeah, that's not good. What about on a weekly? Okay, that's interesting. So for a weekly, that's probably a high probability play, a weekly back test of this. So definitely in this area here, there is a possible bounce around this weekly. So I think it's, I'll say these things. I think it's at a deep discount. I think it's probably due a bounce up to here at some point. It's going to have to get back through this anchor first. This is an area of interest to me, but if we fail this and lose this area of interest, you've got to imagine a deep rotation. This is like, I don't think we come that far down, but you just don't fucking know if Bitcoin goes to shit and we go into some recessionary pressure, and if this company has got overexposure, all right, to that, you don't know. But I would say that I would be interested in long. I'm with you. It's actually on my watch list. I put it on at the weekend. So yeah, that's where my head's at. Hopefully that helps. The only thing that would scare me right now is BTC. I think is going to have some issues. All right, so they're trying to accumulate. It's the same kind of thing. BTC is trying to accumulate versus this. Okay, but if they get failed follow through, if this is a peak high, breakdown, failure, if we do like a 2-leg into here and you see failure, they will come back for this. And you've just got to understand that we have finished a 1,000-day cycle up here on BTC, and an 80% pullback is highly possible, not just probable, or a 78 to 80%, which would take us, as horrific as that sounds, right, let's just say 70%, would take us back down to here. And if you're like, that isn't doable, well, it fucking absolutely is. Right, 77. If we look at the pullbacks after the cycles, after the big cycles, they are drastic. What was this one? 73. So you have to be careful, because if we're measuring it out in cycles, you see 80%. So 80 to 70% is possible, right? And the cycle has been huge. If we look at the cycle length, it's achieved everything that you would expect. Right, 1,000 days, 692%. Right, if we look from this pin, where's the days? 622 days. Normally we talk about 1,000 days. Maybe we go from here. This accumulation. 1,000 days, 2,000%. You know, if we go from here, this first big old bull run that we had. Someone asked me earlier, do I look at cycles? Not for day trading, but for swing positions, absolutely. There's that pin. Over 1,000 days again. So you can see the cycle. 1,000 days sell, 1,000 days sell, 1,000 days sell. Right, the question is, are we going to see a 70, 80% sell like here and like here, right? That is a possibility, and that is what MSTR is exposed to. Somewhere between 25, let's just call it 30,000, because it's probable that we're going to come, if we are going to sell, that this is the pivot, right? 30,000-ish. If we see that, the risk exposure on MSTR to that is drastic, right? That's why we're seeing this, which will pull us back down into the 50s. So that's the only thing I would say. If you're looking to accumulate here, if we start losing BTC, and you will see panic start to enter in. All right. Hopefully that helps. But it's something that's worth watching for sure. Definitely for a bounce, not necessarily for a long-term buy. There you go. So you can see how I operate. And the rotation continues. Right, I need to get out of here, man. What am I doing? Been trading silver more. Is it possible to go over it? I can have a quick look at it. Nice bounce back today. Right, structurally looks good. All right, so here's your failure to make a new high from the other day. There's the wash. Remember, this is on the new futures requirements, margin requirements. We wash down, but keyly, in my opinion, we hold this pivot. All right, this pivot's held. Right, we hold the pivot. We've built liquidity. We're going back upside now, and we're going to reprice. Where are the key levels? Well, clearly, we go from pivot high, pivot low. We're coming right into one. All right, we're coming right into that 61 fib. If I was a short seller, it's very simple. If I was a short seller, I would want to be selling in this block here, and more notably in this block here. Right, I'd want to be forcing the hand here. Now, if I can get a failure to follow through up here as a short seller, all right, if bulls are trapped here, if I can use their pain and come down and get a break, all right, we can look for a lower price. But overall, momentum is what? It's very bullish. If we look at the daily, we're bullish. We had an inside bar being created today. This is what I talked about yesterday. Macro-wise, can this keep going up? Yes. Silver about to have new legislation put in China where you have to sign all sorts of fucking documentation to bring it out of China. So scarcity might, or a lack of supply, right? If we get more of a lack of supply, we can have increased prices. This is also a peg or a hedge, I should say, against the dollar with gold. All right. So Asian markets continue, all right, to come out. To come out of the dollar. Go to daily, right? Asia markets continue to come out of the dollar. They continue to come out of MAG, or they might come out of MAG. Let's just go. And beyond MAGs, to be honest. All right, out if they come rotate out of MAGs and put downside pressure, all right, because they need the extra equity to deal with what's going on with the Bank of Japan. All right, if they do this kind of move here on the mags for early 2026, then I think you're going to see gold and silver continue to rally. It's big if, but, and maybes, but this looks strong. All right, this looks very, 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 very strong. If shorts are going to come in, they're going to have to come in the next few sessions. All right, but these bases can take a while to form. I would say that in the metals. If we think about what happened last time, all right, we had these big flush out moves, these reversal flush out moves, boom, 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 based, settled. This was from October, really a month and a half, all right, before this sort of cup and handle break. All right, momentum still bullish. If we still failure to follow through in something like this, then yeah, I think we can return back down to these 50s. But like if you accumulated in here, I think you're good to hold. But you'd want to see a new high or a base out. So you either want to see this reclaim or a base out in here. What you don't want to see is a failure to follow through and this move here, right? You don't want to be holding through that. But overall, macro environment wise, it looks good. Like, is it overextended? I mean, absolutely. We went over it yesterday. It's well past 2 standard deviations. I think it hit 2.6 standard deviations on a daily. Well past it. Do you have a draw tool mapped to a mouse button? I do not. I have to click to it at the bottom. No worries, SG. All right, folks. I'm out of here. I stayed with you here much longer than I anticipated. Nothing's really happening here. Markets Continuing to rotate. All right, we came down to this grey box, found a bid. We've come back up to previous day, value area high, current day, value area high. Same thing, rotation, 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 rotation. That's all we're in. Don't be expecting too much more than what you've had today. All right, volume's going to start dissipating out. As a reminder, all the links are down below for my recommended prop firms. I have put a flash sale on for you guys who do want to do the 20-hour beginner to advanced course, which comes with some flow zones, and it also comes with the Discord. No monthly membership, none of that stuff, one-time fee. Code 2026, that will finish midnight on New Year's Eve, right? Midnight New Year's Eve. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Please trade safe, use hard stops, all that good stuff. Be kind to each other, get off the screens. If you made your money or there's nothing here you like, remember you trade for freedom. That's financial freedom and time. So go and do something else with your day. Peace and love, everyone. Take care.